Well now, this sure isn't the Oval Office.
Sir, are you all right? You just appeared out of that light.
I suppose I did. Name's Ronald Reagan, and I think I...
Crikey, have a look at this. Two fully grown complaining Karens right here outside the cafe. You can tell by the plumage, pink cardigan, leopard spots, and the recording posture.
Just say no to drugs! Because drugs are very, very bad. So bad you should never, ever touch them. Ever! Let me help you say no?
We aren't just students. We're protectors. The nanomachines choose who we become. But power like this has a price.
In a world where warriors are forged by living technology.
Nanomachines, son.
What's up, land dwellers? It's your boy Big G coming at you with the 2015 Ice Bucket Challenge remake. Got the mega-sized bucket filled with glacier cubes. Let's do this. Woohoo, that's brisk, feeling frosty. I nominate Moth.
Side by side, we face the day. Hearts in sync, we'll light the way. Through every trial, we'll find our story. Yosuga Sora twins bound for glory. Yeah!
Hey, are we the bad guys?
Nah.
Good enough for me.
Son, I know saving the world is a heavy load, but being a father, well, that's a calling too. Your boys don't just need a hero, they need their dad.
Yeah.
Witnesses say the AutoPen machine lost its footing at the top of these stairs, clattering all the way down before skidding to a stop on the tarmac. No one was hurt, but crews had to check the device and the aircraft.
This world is now your reality. The nerve gear will not allow you to log out, and removal will result in your death.
Well, now hold on just a minute. You mean to tell me we're all pinned?
We have a serious problem in Moraine in regards to unmitigated ranged attackers.
Then it's settled. We'll fight together until the last demon falls.
May our paths lead to victory, Slayer.
TheDragonsTreasure.com. Delicious non-woke tea company. Use code Leaflit for 10% off.
In LA, the Long Creek shadows, we fight with stealth and might against filthy communists. Autotons in our sights, with railguns primed, we shatter their cold metallic face. Helldivers lead the charge in liberty's relentless chase. Shall never fall. Its steely heart we claim. With each rockets in hand, we halt the charge's flame. Against the evil fascist swarm, the termit bugs we face. In Helmer's flaming wrath, their defeat will encase. For Super Earth, our courage rose. In battle see our destiny unfolds. Autocannons and turrets lay foes to rest. Helldivers prevail, avoiding mice among the best. Cleaning own sector, never to concede. On the ladder climbs queen soil, our hope is our creed. Our foes tyranny with liberty, we overthrow. Manage democracy, the only way we know. 4 and 710, not all, but Super Earth's lifeline. We fight to bring it home through every battle line. The honor of hell diverse, freedom's anthem loud and clear. Against filthy comeliness and fascist foes, we hold no fear or super. Our spirit soar. With every victory, our legacies adore. Great man is democracy, our sacred aim. For freedom and prosperity, we claim in super state. We are the herald that burns through the cosmos below. Guardians of liberty, super we call our own. Together we stand, in unity our strength shows. Super Earth until the end, our valor known.
I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me. So amazing that first year. But I'm so gay. But as we stayed around longer,
Good evening. Austin is reeling tonight after a plush toy no bigger than a softball struck downtown with the force of a meteor, leveling several blocks and leaving a vast crater.
This object appears to be a standard plush mascot. We don't yet understand how it achieves such velocity or destructive power.
What do we want?
Plushy bands!
When do we want them?
Now! Save the kids!
Does anybody even need plushies?
No, not at all!
Cute but deadly.
When are we going to do the sensible thing and ban fully semi-automatic plushies? How many people need to die before we say enough is enough? You don't need 30 buttons on a stuffed animal. You don't need a cuddle capacity like that for hunting. These are weapons of squish destruction. Do you even need buttons on that? We can fix them.
Tonight, East Cheldale is reeling after a broad daylight clash between rival crews spiraled into a chaotic street battle.
Tonight, the heart of downtown Austin is unrecognizable.
Investigators tell us the plush was no bigger than a backpack, yet the impact leveled offices and shattered windows.
Burst in. The plush fell from the sky and was thrown with such violent force. Witnesses say it was definitely worse than if a person punched a wall.
Hello, explorers. This is our healing miracle potion. It closes cuts, lifts fatigue, and keeps your skin silky smooth so you'll glow even after a week in the marshes. And part of the set is this flashbang.
Booting up my heart tonight, digital delight, neon dreams in pixel light, sparkling so bright. You say hello word, I blush inside. My coat goes wild when you look in my eye. Binary heartbeat, 1 and 0 in time. Every little thing feels so divine. Are you machine or
Good evening. Our top story tonight. The thing that never happens didn't happen again, at least not according to officials, despite pictures you're about to see. A semi-truck sliced through evening traffic where nothing unusual occurred, and somehow nothing remarkable continues to unfold. For more on this story, we bring you to our Asian correspondent, Charlie McLaughlin.
The thing that didn't happen by undisclosed person left some people dead. The driver was of undetermined immigration status and of undisclosed appearance. We spoke to the California Highway Patrol, and here's what they had to say.
Why do you even care about this? Don't you know there's a genocide right now?
Real and true. Now back to you, Isabela Maria de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz y Picasso.
Right, Mithaga, Charlie. Next up, our continuing coverage of Remembering Jan 6th will be airing tonight at 8 p.m.
January 6th. A date etched into history, a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy.
I'm all about tweets and emotions, bros. Telling strangers they're trash, they need to know. I'm a secular saint on my earthly mission. I cancel your grandma for her bad decisions. Posting black squares, then black out with rage. Virtue's my brand, got flags all over my page. Peace and love stickers on my baseball bat. Smash your car like the system, cause you deserve that. Yeah, I only scream cause I care. If you think wrong, you better beware. Yeah, I'm only violent cause I care. I'm ready to fight in my gamer chair. I'm literally the nicest guy. Ask online, spreading kindness and protest, one dox at a time. Fire your dads, watch your sister, cause I've seen the signs. If you're not with me, you're done. Bash one fash at a time. Antifa hoodie, oat milk latte in my fist. I'm a TikTok vigilant, you can't resist. I caught myself a fash, he said MAGA too loud. Adding his boss, lost job, disavowed. I'm tagging your sins, let the masses judge. Armchair journalist with a digital grudge. It's my kindness that cuts deep like a katana. For the oppressed, I'll drag you down into the drama. It can't be that I'm the bad guy. We burned a church for a meme and a vibe. But they deserved it right for calling us sin. Are we the villains? Nah. I'm literally the nicest guy. Ask online, you were problematic since 2009. You're the oppressor, we're the oppressed. I'm the hero you deserve, and I'm always right. Just be kind.
Why do I get triggered so easily? I used to be happy, but now I can't stop complaining about everything.
You might be suffering from Karenism. Try twice daily Asmongold to relieve 95% of symptoms in only one day.
Side effects include balding, roach infestation, Hassan, right-wing extremism, and balding.
It's not your fault. Reclaim your life. Ask your doctor about twice daily Asmongold 100 milligram tablets.
Thank you,
Gold ship, son. You think any other filly can even touch her? Look at that chaos in her eyes. She doesn't just run the race, she turns it into a circus and still wins.
Yes! It's reparations!
Wow, buddy. We'll take that. Government property now.
Hey! That's mine!
Sorry, son. What is happening? All articles of value are being collected in exchange. Standard procedure.
No, please!
You'll be okay.
The demon's mine.
Welcome to Car Jazz. Our next number. Don't make me snap.
And I just wanna come on here and say to you people that be standing in front of the stars and the good Samaritans and all of that when November 1st comes, and if they don't uplift this shutdown for the SNAP benefits, you'll mind your business. Mind your business.
Please mind your business. SNAP benefits are set to end here on October the 31st. I've had a change of heart. I went from feeling sad, feeling heartbroken for so many people who would be negatively impacted by the loss of these SNAP benefits. But now that it's gone on for maybe about 2 weeks or so, and we've seen so many different people weigh in and give their perspective on things, and we allowed the Democrats to talk themselves into a bigger hole than they could possibly imagine. My perspective had changed a bit. I hope they don't bring it back.
Those people, they trying to feed their kids. They trying to go home and feed their kids. I would hate for you to not be able to make it back for your family, and for you to not be able to make it back home, because you're saving these billionaire companies. They has insurance on every box of macaroni. Please mind your business, mind your business.
Do your part. I'm good with it being gone. You motherfuckers use it as a crutch.
You use it like a crutch.
You break the law with it, commit federal offense. When you buy with it, you buy the worst possible shit for your health, making you a bigger liability to the public.
A bigger responsibility on the public.
You can't even afford to pay for your own medical care. The taxpayer's caught in a doom loop.
Ooh, you motherfuckers use it as a crutch.
Welcome, mortals and not-so-mortals, to Lichmore's wheelchair-accessible dungeon. We've got smooth stone ramps, wide corridors, and treasure chambers you can roll right into.
This has nothing to do with the fact I lost 90% of my undead army when I got raided by the Angel Sword Guild. It's 'cause I'm a nice guy.
Skeletons. Lots of them.
Engaging. Ah, the mountain!
Target neutralized.
No bones left to break. Ready when you are, Professor.
Onward.
So, it would seem there was an incident. Behold. Yes, that's him right there. Note the utter carnage. Stephen Hawking, you are now permanently banned from the wheelchair. Accessible dungeon. Never come back. Seriously, jerk.
So all you want me to do is revive this Jeffrey Epstein? Weird name.
I'll revive this Jeffrey Epstein then, if that's what you want.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right, I'll revive this Epstein right now. Observe. What? That was supposed to work.
Like a wet torch, mate.
0% resurrection detected.
Fine. Maybe I need to.
So much for a mighty lich.
Wait a minute. You can't revive someone who is still alive.
Oh. 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 Oh, 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 oh.
take it. Canadian-made program. Wait, what? Really? Why the hell didn't I just think of that?
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。あうー。
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Leaflit. Welcome to the Leaflit Show. What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. Hold on. It has been a while. Quite some time. We actually were saving this specifically for YouTube because Brian actually gave us permission to watch this on YouTube. We're always worried about YouTube, by the way, and the reason we don't really stream much on YouTube is because we're worried about just getting like instantly in trouble because we watched the video. As you guys know, YouTube has fucked us many times for like playing videos that are like already up on the thing. So I can't really react to videos on YouTube, and that's the reason why we don't watch them on YouTube, is because YouTube might just decide for some reason that they don't like us that day and then and then give us a strike. So that's the reason why. Yeah. But this one we specifically have permission for this one, so there shouldn't be any shenanigans, I hope. I don't know. Maybe there will be. I don't know. But yeah, Brian was nice enough to give us permission like directly to watch it on YouTube, so that way there shouldn't be any problems. But also, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. I rarely say super chat, but for real, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Lane, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. Palverito, thank you so much for the super. Hope you're having a great stream, Leaf. I can't watch the whole thing thanks to actually having a job. Well, that is important. You know what's funny is I used to listen to back in the day, I listened to the radio when I was working, and I used to listen to Coast AM. Back then I would have never thought I would do something like this because I'm actually really antisocial, so I was like, it's just surprising. Like if you asked me like 10 years ago if I'd be doing this, like I probably would be like, you're crazy. Like doing it as an actual job. Like I stream sometimes just for fun, but like the idea of like actually doing this for real, that's crazy. Diminiscus, thank you so much for 10 gift subs over gift memberships. Sorry, gift memberships. over on YouTube. And Daka, thank you as well for the membership. And Demon says thanks for the membership for yourself as well. And thank you, Daka, for the 10 gift memberships again. Thank you so much, Daka. Thank you, Camillus. Thank you for the $20 super with the Leaflit salute emote. I need to add more emotes on YouTube. I wonder if there's more slots. I don't know how many slots there are. But we have a lot of emotes on the other platforms. Kura Kitsune, thank you so much for the $20 super. Hey there, Leaflet. I probably won't be talking too much tonight. I'd be on the big screen, dude. Me too. That's how I watch streams. That's how I watch like content on YouTube usually. So that's why it's kind of stupid that Twitch did the thing where if you don't chat, you're not counted as a viewer. That doesn't make any sense because I lurk all the time, like watching on my TV. Looking forward to the PvP. Lane, thank you so much for 10 gift memberships. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And John Wolf, thank you so much for the membership. Oh crap, I lost my spot. Sorry, bear with me. I'm new to this. John Wolf, thank you so much for the membership. Palverito, thank you for the membership as well. Dark Side, Ildrax, Kura Kitsune, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Jim Walsh, thank you so much for the $2 super. This debate we're about to watch was a massacre. So you know what I really want to watch is the part 2. This is the old one. This is part 1. We're gonna be watching part 2 probably some other time, maybe on like Twitch or something. Because if you guys like this kind of stuff, I really like watching debates a lot. Probably my favorite thing to watch, honestly. I'm crazy. And actually, I had a debate the other day. I had my first debate, my debut debate the other day. Earlier this week, I think on Monday this week. But if you want that up, ask Julio. Julio didn't put it up yet. So you're gonna have to ask him. It was pretty short too. It wasn't like a really long debate. Let's see. Ildrax, thank you so much for 10 gift memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. Panda Bear, thank you for the membership as well. And Sicko says, oh my god, can finally use this feature. I love my autistic slime. I'm guessing slime. Master MK, thank you for that $20 super. Thank you so much. Leaflet live on YouTube, Sugoi. And Bob Joe, thank you so much for the $5 super. Leaflet, I feel bitterly lonely and I tend to use the stream to feel some parasocial connection. I don't know what you do about that. Like, I don't know. You gotta find like a hobby or something. It's rough nowadays. I don't know. Modern society is kind of rough, I think. Maybe you gotta play some games and just meet some people. Zachary Rolick, thank you so much for the membership. I'm glad you get to use this. Thank you. Also, thank you so much for all of the memberships all this time, guys. I really appreciate it so much. It really, really, truly, thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for all of the support on YouTube. Bob Joe, thank you so much for the $2 super. Your production values are insane. Thank you. I spent all the money back on the stream. And if you thought that was insane, wait for like 2 to 3 months from now. It's gonna be even crazier. There's some really crazy stuff. Some really, 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 really sick handmade stuff. I got in contact. Well, I've been in contact. One of the people I work with is one of the One Piece animators, and dude, the stuff that they're making is crazy. Missy Marin, thank you so much for the membership, and Dukes, thank you so much for the $20 super. Great to see you, Leaflet. Thank you so much. No Name, thank you for the $5 super. Yo, welcome back to the YouTube line. Can't wait to see you here again from Double T. Thank you. Hey Sonic, thank you for the super as well. Thank you. Hey Leaf, it's really fun playing Rumble with you. You know, I do want to play more Rumble. You gotta play more. Leaflet follower one waifu, thank you for the $5 super. Thank you. I love lurking. Shadow Effects, thank you for the $2. Prepare for a headache with this debate. Oh god, what is this? I can't even read this. It's like 50,000 something money. I don't I don't know what that. Soap, thank you so much. Soap, thank you so much. Glad to catch you on YouTube. Also, where can I watch your collab with Kershey? It's gonna be on Side Scrollers. I don't know what that symbol is. But thank you. Ubagi, thank you so much for the membership. 2001 Cisco Chili, thank you so much for the $20 super. Hi Leaflit, started watching your videos after you were on Side Scrollers the first time. Finally get to see you live. I worked the night shift, so I miss a lot. Oh, I used to work night shift all the time. That's when I listened to Coast to Coast. I used to watch it like live, late at night. Black Joker, thank you so much for the $5 super. How in the heck do you keep meeting these people? I don't know. I don't know. I just talk to people and I just try to be as nice as I can. Telephos, thank you so much for the membership. Thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Okay. It is time. We're going to watch the Andrew Wilson. Oh my god, the chat is... Dude, there is no fucking way I can read that. Are you kidding me? Is this because I was tabbed out? Dude, the chat went like freaking insane. Like I couldn't... Like it was... Oh my god. Yo, what's up, Jose? This is my first time doing Leaflit. What's up? What's up, man? What's up? Yo, Jim, thank you so much. Thank you for the super. I've been watching for a year. I'm fundamentally against Twitch and their practice. I'm glad you're streaming here. We're also on Kick, by the way, Jem Walsh. If you don't know Kick, we're also on Kick. And Kick has been very kind to us. So, Kick is an alternative. We stream every day. Every stream is also on Kick. I explained why we don't stream on YouTube all the time. It's really just an issue of them blowing us up randomly. All right. Here we go, guys. We've got the Andrew Wilson versus Naima from Jubilee. So, if you guys don't know Naima from Jubilee, Jubilee, you know that surrounded that like 20. You know, I'm surrounded by 20 people, you know, like that video, that whole series. So basically, Naima is considered to be super smart, super duper smart. Wow, she's like the best, right? Yeah, thanks, Matt Elliott. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 10 down under bucks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Will this remain on the YouTube bot? It should. It should. Yeah, it should. Matt, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super. But Naima is considered to be like one of the best, super duper smart. Like, wow, she's like so good, very intelligent. People on the left, right? So she's considered. They kind of put her up on pedestal. Wow, she owns people on Jubilee, right? So she's kind of like this Jubilee, like a superstar or whatever, and everyone says that she's the best. And so she goes up against Andrew Wilson in this debate. So it's going to be quite interesting because I consider Andrew Wilson to be the GOAT, and very, very, like, he is basically a top level PvPer, and this dude is like the faker of debating. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this goes down. You know, again, a guy I consider to be like one of the best versus a girl that the people on the left consider to be like one of the best. So let's see, the best versus the best. Let's see how it goes. All right. And if you guys don't know Whatever is a podcast. And again, I just want to really, really say thank you to Brian for allowing us to do a watch along of this again. So please check out their channel. The video should be in the link at the bottom. And if you're interested in like kind of cultural debates, things about like they do like it's actually technically a dating podcast, but it's mostly about it's kind of turned into really a debate space in regards to like feminism, culture. That's kind of what it's turned into. I believe they have a lot of Sorry. They've had a lot of like really big people. I believe they had Charlie on at some point. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm pretty sure they did have Charlie on. But they usually have a lot of people on here, and they bring on a lot of people from OnlyFans to kind of pick their brain a bit to see what they actually think about things. And it's really an interesting show. And I do like watching it, and I've been holding off on this one because I've watched other Andrew Wilson ones. I saw the one recently against what's her name, Charlie, not Charlie Kirk, a different Charlie. I saw like half of that debate last night. This is what I do in my free time, by the way, because I'm an absolute psycho. I just like to watch debates. It's my favorite thing to watch. I don't know why. I'm crazy, but it's interesting to me. I like to see the clash of ideas and like why people believe what they do and like how people defend their beliefs. And the reason why is because, and I don't know if this is just because I lucked out and had like really good friends, but my friends in real life, like the few friends I do have, I'm not really a in real life hangout person, but I don't know if you guys know my friend, anyone here know MMOhuts.com? MMOhuts, MMOs.com, Remote. Really good friend of mine. And you might be hearing this for the first time if you're on YouTube, because I said this on Twitch and Kick, but Remo and me, we go way back. And one thing that we did a lot is like when we hang out in person, like our pastime is to like go to a coffee shop or eat at a buffet and just talk about stupid hypotheticals. Like we'll have some stupid prompt and we'll discuss like the philosophy behind it, which is that's a good time to us, right? So it's like, yeah, MMO huts, yeah, remote. But yeah, my friends we always like kind of argue with each other in a friendly way, obviously. Like it's like, you know, we're just doing it, and sometimes we'll like take a position we don't even believe just to see if we can defend it. Like we're just weird like that. That's kind of like what we do. And it's probably because of that I'm the way I am. Because I think if I didn't have friends like that, I don't know, I might have just not cared about like the defendability of positions, I think. But anyway, whatever. That's why for fun, I watch these kind of things because I think it's interesting. It's kind of like, you know, when you play a game, like say you play like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or whatever, you pick your poison, right? When you get really into it, you like to watch pro games because watching pro games kind of gives you ideas for like how you can play. And that's why I watch them. All right, here we go. Let's like skip ahead past the intro. I can just...
I'm your host and moderator, Brian Atlas. A few quick announcements before the show begins. This podcast is viewer supported.
Thanks again, Brian. I really appreciate it, man.
Please consider donating through Streamlabs instead of Soup Chat.
I love the show, Brian.
Takes a brutal 30% cut. That's streamlabs.com/whatever. Link is in the description. We prioritize messages that are made via Streamlabs. To read a message is...
Should I be in the middle?
$199, or excuse me, not $199, $200 and up.
That way I'm not blocking Naima.
And up. We will read those in batches at various breaks throughout the debate. There will be no instant TTS, and I do ask that the audience has good discipline when it comes to the super chats and the chats. And if you want to criticize, attack the idea, not the person. Now, if you want to just tip and have 100% of your contribution go towards us, no platform fees, no cut, you can via Venmo or Cash App, whatever, pod on both. The link is in the description. We're also live on Twitch right now. Pull up under the tab, go to twitch.tv/whatever, and drop us a follow on the Prime sub if you have one. Quick disclaimer, the views expressed by the guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the whatever channel. Without further ado, I will introduce our two guests. I'm joined today by Andrew Wilson, host of The Crucible.
Andrew on a lot.
He's a blood sports debater and political commentator. Also joining us today is
Will
Naima.
I go on the podcast?
She's
No,
a
I don't
senior
go
at
anywhere in real
University
life.
of Southern California. She's
Listen, guys, you might not know this, but I'm a forest dweller for a reason. I live in the middle of buttfuck Egypt for a reason. I don't want to be around people. So the idea of like going to an event or something with a lot of people, it makes me want to throw up.
a political commentator and content creator. The topic today is feminism. You'll each have up to a 5-minute opening statement, and then the rest of the show will just be open conversation, possible prompt changes, and we're going to have breaks for messages from the audience. Andrew, you're going to go first with your opening statement, so please go ahead.
Yeah, so my position on feminism is that it's terrible for society. As we go through this, I'll kind of flesh that view out using what I call force doctrine so that you can understand why I have that same set. But force doctrine basically just states that while feminism definitionally...
If you guys don't mind, I haven't eaten dinner yet. My mom got me my dinner, so I might be muting a little bit. Like, I'm going to comment, but I'm going to try not to... I'm not going to comment with my mouth full, so I might be a little bit delayed on it.
Is the movement towards egalitarianism and equity for the removal of patriarchal systems, that feminists will always have to appeal to patriarchy in order to try to remove patriarchy, which is ironically hilarious.
That's actually a very hard position to break. It's a very logical position that the world is basically a patriarchy. You can't, it's really hard to refute it because because all rights only come from force, basically. There's you have no rights without force, because rights are just like what rights are like in terms of like functionally is that they're basically the enforcement of certain beliefs by a group of people, and until we have like Gundams, it's going to be very hard for women to enforce said rights. That's why it's a patriarchy.
But a few things I wanted to get to first is that...
Sorry, just another pause. But and the thing is, a lot of people get mad at that, but it's not really like a it's not an opinion. Does that make sense? It might seem like it's an opinion, but it's not. It's actually just describing the state of the world. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like saying the Earth is round. You know, women could be worse with Gundams as well. That's true. But like, basically, it would depend on the. It would like there could possibly be. I mean, okay, let me change it. Okay, so like the world wouldn't be a patriarchy if like psychic powers became a thing. Like if magic became a thing, then it wouldn't be. So like like an example of a world in which is a matriarchy would be like Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time, for instance, would be like a matriarchy because like magic exists and like women are more powerful than men because of magic. Right. But like, anyway, so the point I'm saying is that it's not really like you're trying to say like women suck. Fuck women. They suck. Right. That's not what's being said. What's being said is like the Earth is round. Does that make sense? The fact that like women are physically weaker than men is just like a fact. And you know, they'll bring up like, you know, edge cases or whatever, but like, you know, speaking strictly on averages, like if you're considering like a society, you would have to consider averages. And like, since women are weaker than men, then the only reason women have rights is because of men. Anyway,
I went through several hours of my opponent's content, and I've actually not ever seen her make a single argument for anything that she believes.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
I've seen her assert a lot of things, but not
it's just the fact
an argument
of
for anything
reality.
she actually believes. So I have some notes here, and I was hoping she could help me clear some of these things up. From the surrounded September 8th...
What about guns? Shogun says, what about guns? I'm pretty sure they'll probably go into it because like I'm pretty sure she's gonna attack this position. But the long story short with guns is if you were like in the immediate, if you're so guns equalize on a small level. So like if the scale of the combat is small, as in like right now 1v1 both have guns, draw to fire, like if it was like a duel, then men and women would be like basically equalized in terms of combat capability, right? But the problem is war is not that scenario, right? So like on a 1v1 basis, in a controlled scenario, a duel, you could equalize, guns would equalize men and women, which is why they're so good for self-defense, because women can now defend themselves against a single man, right? However, warfare, if you consider the entire like theater of warfare, it's not like a single duel. Does that make sense? So like in warfare, you have to, there's like logistics, like you have to move supplies from one point A to point B. You have to carry your rifle, your ammunition, your rations, your medical supplies, all of that shit. You would have to carry it, and then you would have to like march miles, right? March miles. You'd have to like move heavy machinery. Like if you're like a tank operator, like you would have to do all of these like highly intensive things over a long period of time. In which case, the effects of the strength effects. Sorry, the effects of the differences between men and women would become way more apparent. So like in a small scale scenario, yes, guns do equalize between men and women, but not in the long term.
2024 episode, she says abortion is murder. The prompt is abortion is murder and should be illegal. She asked for a viability time for 20 weeks and thinks abortion before 20 weeks is acceptable. She says the fetus is technically classified as a parasite. The fetus cannot exist outside of the womb and therefore is a parasite. The actual definitions don't support this. An organism living in,
They're gonna do abortion?
or with another organism in order to obtain nutrients, grow, multiply. That would be an actual definition of a parasite, or someone or something that resembles a biological parasite living off of, being dependent on, or exploring another. Fetuses can't fit that definitionally. Fetus is the same species. Biological parasites are classified as other, not the same species. Also, mutual biology. Mothers and fetus co-adapt, and mothers are actually healthier while they're pregnant, so they can't really be a parasite. Parasites are rarely temporary, and fetuses are. So, and none of that fits the criteria for a parasite.
That's true.
On our video, Middle Ground, Progressives versus Moderates, and this is from January 19th, she says the prompt is, does the far left make Democrats lose elections? She said Kamala was not progressive enough, not far left enough.
Is he going through everything?
She talks about how women's rights are being stripped, but didn't give any examples of what those are. So I'm actually really confused about a lot of her positions, including her rematch against Charlie Kirk. That happened March 5th, 2025, why DEI is unlawful. Her rebuttal to Kirk was bizarre. It just had something to do with there's no racial factor in DEI, even though Kirk gave a pretty good rebuttal for that. So I'd like her to kind of dive into what she actually believes within the paradigm of feminism. But for my positive position, I will say I have a logical argument called force doctrine, and my logical argument called force doctrine refutes the feminist ideology, and it just works. As I explained before.
Refuting force doctrine is very hard.
Patriarchy must always be appealed to in order to try to eliminate patriarchy. Women can't enforce their own rights collectively, and men can. Therefore, women always have to appeal collectively to men for their rights. So you're always going to essentially have a patriarchy through force doctrine, and there's nothing women can do about that. So I'm willing to logically go through that.
Well, one thing I want to say is really funny about Andrew Wilson is, you know how all the time feminists are like, oh my God, we live in a patriarchy. Guys, we live in a patriarchy. And then Andrew Wilson goes, yes, we do. And they're like, no, we don't. We don't live in a patriarchy. It's actually fucking so funny. It's like, it's the funniest shit to me. He's like, yes, I agree. We do live in a patriarchy. Wait a minute, I don't agree with that anymore.
And have it examined rigorously. But I'm hoping that with that, you can also describe your positions so that I understand them better.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. If you'd like to give your opening statement.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew. I do think that is an interesting claim that I don't, state my arguments, because I've actually been watching some of your content, and I've noticed kind of a similar trend as well within these debates, where you will ask, your debater questions, but will not put forth your argument, including in your opening statement. You state force doctrine, but instead of elaborating on it, you consistently talk about what I've talked about, which only one of those topics was actually related to feminism. Now, when it comes to my actual beliefs, I think my goal and my hope for this country is to see us advance as a society. I would like to see everyone have bodily autonomy, and I would like for the vast majority of people, if not everyone, to have their basic needs met. And I would like to mitigate any unnecessary conflict between the citizens of this country, genuinely. I think that my main issue with the manosphere and with your force doctrine principle is that it promotes and spreads divisiveness against men and women. It promotes and spreads violence against men and women.
Wait. Her argument is that the descriptor for reality is bad because it makes me feel bad and makes people mad. Wait, what? Okay.
And it exaggerates and focuses the differences between the genders.
Angle.
I think that men and women, I know men and women are the same species. We are 99% genetically similar. And the obsessive need to define and separate people based on one singular chromosome is doing both men and women a disservice, socially, economically, and politically, which we can get into. I'm ready to open it up if you want to.
Yeah,
I guess actually I'd love to start with a question for you. I would like to go back to the force doctrine theory, if we can. I just kind of want to understand more. I know you've talked a lot about the equal force objection in the past. You've said men have essentially a monopoly on force.
Correct.
If I'm correct. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And
Do you want me to walk you through the argument?
No, I'm going to elaborate. Thank you. And that rights exist through physical force, and that our legal system is based on physical force. So I guess I kind of just want to hear you elaborate on that now, if you're welcome.
So you want my argument for the force doctrine?
Yep.
Okay, so what force doctrine is saying is very simple. That feminism, if you at least agree with my definition, and it seems broadly feminists do, that it's a movement towards egalitarianism and equity and the removal of patriarchy. If you can't have an oppressed class without an oppressor class, at least not from the Marxist feminist view. In the case, if women are being oppressed, they're not being oppressed by wolves, they're being oppressed by men, right? So if that's the case, then my argument to them is that whatever you believe this oppression is, you will actually have to appeal to men in order to either relinquish whatever this oppression is, or concede to whatever it is that they want, because collectively women actually cannot overthrow any patriarchal systems. They rely on the force of men. And so if men, anytime they want to, decide to remove women's rights, there's actually not anything women can do about it, but the opposition is not true. The opposite is not true. Women cannot collectivize and take away men's rights.
Okay, so are you essentially saying that women do not deserve the right to fight for their own free will or have free will?
Yeah, that's an ought claim. I'm not making an ought claim. I'm trying to get us to the descriptor first. So
this is a thing that people confuse a lot, is they confuse what is versus what ought to be. So like, because the thing is a certain way, it doesn't mean that that's the ideal, obviously, right? Or you're claiming like as to like what it should be, what it ought to be, not like what it is, basically. So like what Andrew is describing here is the thing that describes like what reality is, not what it should be. And that's why she's getting confused a little bit here.
Instead of making a prescriptive statement, I'm starting with a descriptive statement. What is true, and then we can worry about what should be true after we can determine what is true.
Okay, but I'm trying to see, like, structurally, how does that work in the real world? Are you saying that women should not fight for their rights because they...
What?
Let's back up so I can distinguish two things.
What?
Okay.
Is, ought, right? I'm not trying to bridge the is, ought. Yeah. I'm trying to start with a descriptive claim. So if the descriptive claim is true, then we can move through to the prescriptive side of it. But right now, you would either need to agree with me that descriptively I'm right or that descriptively I'm wrong.
I can't agree with you to say that descriptively you're right until you apply what you're saying in theory to the practice of modern day society. How does your equal force objection, how does this principle work in society? What are you saying in
Yeah,
terms
so
of
I'm
how
saying that
women and
because
men
that
coexist?
yeah, I think that because that is the case, that men deserve to have various privileges that they're not given in society,
Okay.
which they should be given in society.
So what are the privileges that you think that men should have that women should not have?
Well, primarily, I think that if you're going to look at an equalization,
I feel like this is the part where where she can actually debate. Like this is the realm in which like she can fight back. It's really hard to fight back against the basis of the reality descriptor part is really hard to fight against because it's observed reality. Everyone knows that this is the case, right? Like you can deny it as much as you can, but it's obviously the case. If you were to just consider the force difference between men and women, force application, and all rights are from force, right? Because if you can't enforce your rights, then they don't exist, basically. And even if you were to go the route that's saying like, well, it's God-given rights, right? Well, God enforces the rights in the end, right? If you were to say that like, well, I have a God-given right to this, and then the person kills you, then God would then use force later to annihilate that person and send them to hell. Does that make sense? So it's like your rights are always appealing to some kind of force, whether it's by human hands or divine.
what I would do prescriptively would be to roll voting back. And that's for both sexes. I think that rolling voting back for both sexes is a good idea, and have some sort of perhaps
This is why you need guns, by the way.
one house voting system or one marriage
If you
voting
care
system.
about rights, you gotta care
or
about
people who
guns.
have done some sort of collective service to the state for a voting system. I think that those things would all be very good systems for everybody.
I think it's I think it's completely what's the word? Illogical. It's completely illogical to believe, oh, we deserve these rights, we need these rights, I have these rights, to like believe in that and then not believe in like actually being able to project force yourself. Doesn't make any sense to me. It's just nonsense. Like why, like what are you even talking about at that point? You're just saying words. Like it doesn't mean anything. You have to have the means to defend your rights.
Now, I would apply that, I would apply that broadly to men, and I would apply that to women. I think that right now men get the shaft because men are required to do a lot of jobs that women are not, which keeps society going, and women are not doing those things. And because of that, I don't understand why it is that women can nullify their votes and disenfranchise them, and most importantly, vote to send them to wars they don't have to go fight in.
So you would like to disenfranchise both the men and women's votes?
Mostly. Most of them, yes. I think would be a better idea.
What would this achieve?
Well, it would be that it would achieve the same thing our founders basically wanted to achieve, which is that they thought that you would have to have a stake in the country in order to vote.
But if you live in the country and if you exist in the country and if you're being legislated by the laws that the country is making, don't you have a stake in that?
No, not always.
You don't?
In fact, many times you don't. Many times, many people actually get more back from the state than they put into the state. So that's at the expense of other people.
Who is that?
So there's
Everyone
lots of
on
people who get a mass amount back from the government that they never pay to the government.
Everyone in
This can
welfare.
happen through things like Social Security, disability, things like welfare, things like even earned income child credit that you may receive, even though you don't actually pay anything into the system or very little into the system.
But it's a crime to lie on your taxes and commit. Isn't that tax fraud to claim a dependent?
No. There's just
that is tax fraud.
No.
To
It's not
claim a
tax. Listen, it's
dependent
not
that you're
tax
not
fraud. I'm
taking
saying that
care
there's
of.
people who
what?
get more out of the system than they put into the system.
Wait, this is very
Okay,
basic.
but they're still at stake because they still live here now.
Yeah,
Are their
well,
lives not at stake if we're
what is
legislating
it?
them?
But that wouldn't follow that because they live here, they deserve the right to vote, though.
Yes, no taxation without representation. That's the point of
Yeah, but
representative
you-
democracy.
no.
Is
But
that
you're not
everyone is
being taxed.
represented.
Then
You're not
how
being
come the
taxed.
founding fathers didn't give everybody the right to vote from the beginning?
I mean, the founding fathers also endorsed and owned slaves. Do
Yeah,
you
but
agree
that's-
with chattel
that's-
slavery?
Well,
Just let
That's
it finish.
separate.
Go ahead.
I mean, the
Well, she
founding
just
fathers
asked-
also endorsed and owned slaves.
Just let it
Okay,
finish.
but
Do you believe in chattel
yeah.
slavery?
So you do realize
Thank you so much. Thank you. 1 second.
that they could do bad thing, right? I can agree that's bad thing, but that has nothing relationally to do with how they set up the system of government.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hideki. Thank you for the supers, you guys. Thank you. Hideki and Wumpy Gaming, thank you so much. And Castle Baron, thank you. I'll go through them. I'll go through them like kind of maybe once in the middle and then like once at the end. That way, I'm not pausing the video all the time. All right, thank you.
I mean, I thought this was going to be a debate on feminism. Honestly, I think that's kind of wild because it sounds like you're disenfranchising men. So who do you think would be? Are you trying to go back?
I'm not.
You are. You're taking away.
I'm not disenfranchising men. Calm down. I'll explain.
But if you're taking away the votes of a man because he is not, I guess, landowning, is that what's the criteria for having a vote?
I think ultimately more men would be voting because they would have more stake.
So can I ask? Can every man go to prison?
Yeah.
Okay. If they commit a crime, they can go to prison.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that.
Yes.
Okay. And everyone is in this country has to abide by the laws of this country, otherwise they will go to prison. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so why wouldn't they be allowed to vote on the representatives that define those laws? That is a stake. If you can go to prison for committing a crime that is created by the government, then you do have a stake legislatively in the laws that the government creates.
That still wouldn't follow that you would need to vote.
Yeah.
I ate a bite of my food and I laughed. And then a piece of rice went all the way down my throat and I started coughing.
Yes, you would need to vote.
Why?
You want to vote for the representatives that create laws that are just and fair to you.
Yeah, why? Like you could have
because you could go to prison. That's a huge stake.
I'll show you, right? Can kings put you in?
Guys, remember, she's like considered to be like one of the smartest people on the left. She's like considered like, wow, super intelligent, very high level debater.
In prison?
Yeah.
Can kings also pass just laws?
This is like the best that they have. One of the best.
Sometimes, maybe.
Okay, so
maybe not.
if kings pass just laws, why do you need to vote?
Well, why did we fight an entire
answer
revolution?
the question before you ask another one. I just answered all of yours. If a king passes just laws, why would you need to vote?
Because a king can also pass unjust laws.
So can legislatures.
Sure, but if you have a stake in that and if you're able to represent for your legislator, you can vote a legislator out.
Yeah, but you can also rebel
out.
against kings. So like that's what I'm saying. Your position doesn't follow. It doesn't actually follow for you to say that because you can be imprisoned inside of a nation that somehow gives you the right to vote.
Well, because you have a stake.
This is looking bad.
Hang on. I'm falsifying your claim. I'm falsifying your claim. If you claim kings can make just laws, right?
Yes.
Then I don't understand. Why would people need to vote when kings are making just laws?
Well, then why would we leave the monarchy of England? If kings can make just laws, why would we leave?
Well, in that case, you had a nation apart that had a rebellion against the king.
Yes,
that's what was going on. But kings have been rebelled against historically under certain circumstances many times.
So you'd like to go back to feudalism? Like
No,
you
it's
don't
not
believe in
feudalism.
democracy? Well, yeah, that is
No,
the
it would be
feudalism is under a monarchy.
It would be called limited democracy, which is exactly what we had here. Do you think we had feudalism because most people couldn't vote here?
We had limited democracy, and then there were like many uprisings against that limited democracy because everyone deserves the right.
No, there wasn't uprisings really against that. The only uprising that I'm aware of in American history against America was the Civil War.
The Civil War, the Civil Rights movement.
But that wasn't about
the first
voting.
Feminist movement,
That wasn't
the second
about
feminist
voting.
Movement, the Civil Rights movement.
No. The
All of
Civil
those were
War
about-
wasn't about voting.
Well, I mean, it was about the owning of chattel slaves.
So not about voting then?
Which is also about human and civil rights.
But not about voting though.
But voting is a civil right.
I don't know. I'm not sure that I believe in
It's
this.
about freedom and it's about
conceptual-
representation.
Yeah. So
the point is representation.
So let's back up.
That's what voting is.
Yeah.
Voting is representation and democracy.
I understand, but you haven't actually made the positive case for why people need to be able to vote.
People need to be able to vote because they have a stake in the legislation in this country. If you can be imprisoned in this country, if you can be robbed of your bodily autonomy by the legislators of this country, then you should be able to have a stake in what the laws that those legislators are making.
Well,
no?
let's see if this makes sense. Do you agree with me that individual voters don't actually have very much power at all?
Individual voters, no, but that's the point of a collective voting body.
I'm with you. So individuals already don't really have very much power just because they can vote, right?
Sure.
So isn't it the case actually that what you're advocating for is political tribalism? Because you don't have individual power as a voter, you actually have to tribalize with other voters in order to have any sort of collective power, right?
Well, you're taking away power from all the voters,
Well,
so it
can
wouldn't
you
even
kind of
be
what's
my
happening right
question,
now, actually.
Please. Tribalism, the idea that you as the individual do not have power, right?
Yes.
You do have to collectivize with other people, right?
Okay, but how is taking away
Can you
a
answer
vote?
yes or no?
No.
Yeah. Okay. No.
She can't
But
answer
here's
like
my
a
question.
single
How is
question, man.
taking away more people's votes disincentivizing Political tribalism.
Yeah,
because now I have to band with someone. Because now I have to band with someone who has a vote. I don't even get a stake. So you're saying because people don't have enough power to vote, I'm going to take what little power they do have.
You're not
away.
answering my question, though.
It just doesn't make sense
Yeah, I
structurally.
know, but you got to answer my question.
It just doesn't sound like you believe in.
It sounds like you need to
democracy.
answer my question, though.
It sounds like your question is meant to trap me because your argument
Can you
is
just
riddled with
answer the
logical
question,
fallacies.
please?
It
What's fallacious about my argument?
You're saying that people do not have a stake in this country, therefore they do not have a right to vote.
It's not what I said.
Yes,
what
it
you're doing is a straw man fallacy.
Can we go back to
Yeah,
what
you
he
can
said?
go. You can go back.
Can
What
we
I
double
said
back
to you
that?
specifically is what you're saying doesn't logically follow. And when I'm talking about political
Where did
tribalism,
that come from?
do you agree with me that you do, if you need to have collectives to have actual political power, are you not promoting political tribalism?
If you need to have but that's how voting works. It's about a majority.
So then you are
Yes.
promoting collective political tribalism, right?
So voting and then the will of the majority is essentially political tribalism, is what you're saying?
Well, it's not really the will of the majority.
It is the
Here's
will of
what
the
happens.
majority.
No, not really.
Do you understand how voting works?
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well then tell me how it's the will of the majority when a California legislator gets elected.
Well, everyone who would like to vote can vote, and then whoever
What
gets
about
the most
what about the
votes
people in Georgia?
wins. Well, why would a person in Georgia get to vote on a
So
legislator
it's not
for a
really the
California state
collective; it's
legislator?
the tribe, right?
But then Georgians get to vote for their
Right,
state
so it's a
legislator.
tribe then?
And then all of those legislators come together
So it's a
to
tribe.
create laws.
So it's a tribe.
It's not a tribe, but
Well,
those are called states.
Yeah,
That's what
states are voting for their own interests, right?
But states will vote for the governors.
Yeah.
Why would I get to vote for the governor? Hold on, pause.
Hold on.
Listen to me. Why would I get to vote for the governor of, let's say, Tennessee if I
Right.
don't live in Tennessee?
Makes sense.
Okay.
So it's almost
So
like
then why
these
would-
individual states, right? They vote along tribal lines for that state's particular interests, right?
Yes, and
They're
then
not
each state has a representative
right,
in
which
the
they said
collective government.
Sure, in the federal government, right? You're
Uh-huh.
talking about in our Senate and in our Congress, right?
Yes.
Great. So let's start with this. If it is the case that you have California and Nevada, these are two states which are next to each other, you agree,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Can these states vote against each other's interests when it comes to
course they can.
resources?
In the federal government, yes. they
No,
can.
even at the state level they can, right?
Why would they be able to at the state level? I can't vote for the Nevada governor. I can't vote for
Because perhaps there's something
Nevada
that
regis-
perhaps
legislators.
Nevada has some type of, I don't know, assessed tax or something like this that they're able to collect, which disproportionately affects Californians in some way. They can do that, right?
What law is that?
Whatever it would be, they
So it
can
doesn't-
do it.
does it exist or does it not exist?
Listen, can they do that? Can they do that is my question.
Can Nevada legislate against California?
No, they're not legislating against. Listen to my question. Actually, I want you to repeat my question so I know you actually heard it.
I'm sorry, I'm not a dog. I
Can
don't
you repeat
things.
it? Well,
Bruh. Shock.
it's called steel manning a
shock my
position.
dog.
Say the question.
Okay. Can states vote against other states' interests simply by having a neighboring state, right? Let's just say, for instance, that you were to have, like, I don't know, trucks which went between Nevada and California, right?
Yes.
And California took advantage of this by raising taxes on gasoline, but only on the border areas where these goods came in. This disproportionately hurts Nevada truckers for some reason, right? They can do that, right?
Yes, they can do that.
Okay, great. So in California, if that was beneficial to Californians, they would basically be voting for their tribe against Nevada, right?
But is that happening?
It
or
does
are you
happen.
just trying to use a hypothetical?
No, there's tons and tons of instances where different states do various things, even asking for federal money in overages compared to other states for different problems. Same thing with disaster support. They definitely are all trying to support their tribe, right?
Okay, so because states can potentially, hypothetically, vote against another state's interest, men and women should not have the right to
No,
vote.
that's not the conclusion.
What?
But that's that,
What?
was your argument.
No,
the
that's
privilege is,
no. We're
you
again. Do you
stated
know what a
no voting,
descriptor
both
is?
Sexes,
What's a
one marriage voting system.
Why don't you understand the difference between a descriptor and prescriptor? What did I prescribe?
What you prescribed is one voting system, a voting system in which both men and women are disenfranchised.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you descriptors so we can determine if it's tribalism or not, because you said it's not tribalism to have collectivism in voting blocks, which is insane.
But what you haven't been able to answer is why disenfranchising more voters is somehow solving political tribalism.
Let her get to the end of the sentence, please.
Well, let me explain it.
Sure.
The best way that I possibly can. Your worldview promotes political tribalism. So what happens is this. NGOs can go to our government and they can bribe them for voting blocks. And that's exactly what they do. Non-government organizations do this and lobbyists do this. And what they do is they raid the treasury from people like you and me so that they can bribe certain portions of the electorate in order to incentivize them to collectivize. That's why black people...
If you want to know more about this, watch the Mentis video about it, because about EBT, because it's kind of like... Basically, what happens is when you're taking more from the government, you can actually, the government can not the government specific, but the politicians within the government can then bribe you so that you get more shit from the government, basically. So like, vote for us and we'll give you more shit from the government. So they can do like a legal bribe that way.
Often vote as a monolith, for instance. They vote monolithically, up to 80-90% together, especially in national elections, because they're made certain promises out of the treasury from the electorate, usually at the expense of other forms of voters. This is 100% tribalism.
So how are NGOs bribing politicians, influencing who black people as individuals choose to vote for?
I'm sorry, to like further illustrate kind of like what Andrew's saying to make it a little bit easier to understand. It's a little bit harder when it's like on state lines, but like, let's just consider like California itself, right? You have people, and this is the easy way to understand it. You know how like the big cities, they control everybody that's like not even anywhere remotely near them. So you have like people living in the countryside that have like a completely different culture, a completely different way of life. And these people in these big cities, they basically control them. And that's the problem when you have like a majority of people, they can vote for when the tribe is so big, when you make the tribe about volume, you have this like volume of people that don't even have anything to do with other people, enacting laws that affect people negatively for the interests of like the majority, basically. The tyranny of the majority. Yeah.
NGOs do that?
I just don't understand how you're saying. I mean, I agree that NGOs should not be bribing and lobbyists shouldn't be bribing, but instead of
that's what they do though, right?
Okay, but we're trying to get back to your claim that
I'm in the middle of my claim.
Vote. Okay, well, I'm responding because this is a conversation.
Yeah.
Sure. So we're trying to get back to your claim that less people from both sexes should be able to vote.
Yeah, no, that's not where we just were.
That's your initial claim,
yeah, but now you're just pivoting. Where we just were was...
Well, you're not letting me finish my sentence.
No, because you're pivoting. We're talking right now about whether tribalism is descriptively true in your voting system.
I understand that, but we're trying to get back to your initial claim because you have a very important claim to defend. You're trying to take votes away from the American people poorly, but let's get into it. So... NGOs bribe, lobbyists bribe, and that is impacting who and what politicians are promoting. I would agree with that statement. Would you agree with that statement?
Well, not just what they're promoting, but also they are setting the precedent for laws themselves.
Okay, yeah.
So they actually, I would even argue back that NGOs and private think groups write the laws in which politicians most often execute, and so do bankers as well.
I agree with that. So why would taking away votes from the average American and singular citizen prevent NGOs and lobbyists from having an ability to impact and predict and create laws?
Yeah, so if you move to stakeholder democracy, this idea that you had to have some sort of public service or something like this, it actually collectivizes down the voting pool, which adds responsibility to the voters who can then be held accountable, which right now voters can't be. That's why it's so important. So
Voters can be held accountable.
So you're saying how?
Well, legislators will create laws that hold those voters accountable. We're the ones who have to follow them. Do you not have to follow the laws?
Well, that's not you being held accountable.
It is being held accountable.
No. So right now, under tribalism, you can get laws passed which affect me, but benefit you. I can't go like hold you somehow accountable for that.
But that's how a majority voting works. That's how democracy
I know,
works.
which is why I want limited democracy where we can actually hold people
because
accountable.
you just want to be in charge.
How would I be in charge if it's stakeholder democracy?
Well, you said one marriage voting system.
That could be one way of doing it, yes.
Okay, what are the other ways of doing that?
Another good way would be public service.
So whoever does a public service.
Perhaps up to 3 to 5 years unpaid, or military service would be good.
So during this public service in which people are working 3 to 5 years unpaid, how are they
totally agree with this,
paying
man.
for food and groceries and housing?
Yeah, so the state would take care of that just like they do in the military.
The state would take care of that like they do in the military. And how do you plan on getting that passed?
What is that?
I'll give you an example of like why no stake democracy is like so irritating. So like I don't know if YouTube has heard the story before, but Kick and Twitch definitely have. So before, when I used to live in California, the thing that made me leave is because they tried to get rid of Gavin Newsom, and because he was doing a shit job basically, and so a lot of people were pissed off at him. They tried to recall him. And that during that thing, I was talking to my brother. I told my brother, I said, because whenever a vote happens, and this is like actually the truth, me and my mom talk about like what we're gonna vote for. We look up the people we're gonna vote for, and we're like, okay, like this person's good. We like what this person says about these policies. Oh yeah, we're just not gonna vote here because we don't like both of them. Or we kind of go through it together, and we talk about like the pros and cons of like each person, right? So we go to vote, and I asked my brother just kind of, my brother's like more on the left. So I asked my brother, I said, hey, who are you voting for? Like, who'd you vote for? And he goes, I voted for Gavin Newsom. And I was like, why though? Like, why'd you vote for him? Because I was just curious, right? Like, I want to know, like, what could possibly get you to vote for Gavin Newsom? Maybe there's some reason I don't know, right? So I asked him, why'd you vote for Gavin Newsom? And he literally said this, And I was like, so like I thought about it and like, bro, my vote is canceled by that dude. Basically, my vote literally like zeroed out by I don't really care.
That have to do with
So
anything?
it hurts,
Well, because
man.
Let's say I could never
hurts.
get it passed. We're arguing the ideology of this system. What does that have to do with anything?
What's the point in creating an ideology that will never work?
How are you going to get Marxism passed?
You're not.
So
That's why it's
aren't
a
you a
bad
Marxist? But you're a Marxist, right?
How did you know that?
Well, I don't
Who
know.
told you
That's what
that?
your videos seem to imply, that you believe in Marxist
Did I ever
feminism.
say that I was in Marxist?
Oh, I don't know. Are you a socialist?
On a certain level.
Okay,
somewhat.
how are you going to get socialist? Like, that's silly. That us making the comparison contrast between like socialism, capitalism has no bearing on whether or not I could somehow get this passed or have some plan to get it passed.
Okay.
I'm arguing about the ideology here.
Do you want to understand my belief, or do you just want to guess?
Well, hang on. What does that have to? Do you know what I just said though?
Well, I mean, you just called me a Marxist.
Do you
just called me
agree?
a socialist,
Well,
but
if
you
you're not a
don't even know what I
Marxist, I
believe.
said we're doing a comparison contrast of worldviews and ideology. If we're doing contrast worldview and ideology, it's a non sequitur to ask me, well, how are you going to get it passed? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, why would you create a worldview that fundamentally cannot work in practice? That
Well,
sounds
it's
like
not
a waste
a
of time.
worldview that fundamentally cannot work in practice.
you couldn't
even
say
if
how
I
it works in
could,
practice.
even if I couldn't prescriptively tell you, like the
Wait, Sicko, you said you're gonna vote for Chad Bianco? Wait, he's running for governor, right? Is he running for governor right now? Dude, that guy's based. I voted for him every time. That Chad Bianco was the dude that made it so that all the citizens of his county could like have guns and carry guns. You couldn't carry guns before. Well, I mean you could, but like Chad Bianco made it easier. Like there was like so much like it was so pain in the ass to actually be able to carry a gun. Chad Bianco was like, "Yo, we're gonna make it easy for people to concealed carry in this county. So we're gonna increase the amount. We're gonna hire a bunch of like retired police officers and off-duty officers to actually process the actual gun what do you call it? Concealed carry stuff faster. So it didn't take like a year to get it, basically. And yeah, he really made it so much better for the citizens of Riverside to be able to get concealed carry permits in California, which is like it's basically almost impossible in California to get them, except for Chad Bianco's area. So like that guy was the GOAT. Yeah.
Next political chain of things we do to get there has nothing to do with whether or not the worldview in practice would work.
Well, do you have any practical guesses for how we could apply this to a modern day society?
Well, I just told you how we would apply it. You would have stakeholder democracy.
Okay, so that's just so one day we're just going to flip a switch and have that. Like, I don't understand.
No, what do you mean? Okay, you could have an amendment for it. You could repeal the 19th Amendment. You could.
So you want to repeal the right to vote?
Or just replace it. It wouldn't be. What I'm talking about is universal suffrage. You keep on making a conflation in terms. You think that because I say universal suffrage, that means no suffrage. I'm talking about limited suffrage.
So who gets to decide who gets the right to vote?
Didn't I literally just tell you who gets to decide who gets to vote?
Okay, so everyone who
So I need to look this up more because I actually don't have I don't know much about this era of America. But if I'm correct, back in the day, it actually didn't matter if you were a man, a woman, or if you were black, if you could vote. All that mattered was that you were a landowner. And I think they changed that to make it so that white men only at some point. I think that's what happened.
Who participates in this public service gets the right to vote.
That could be one way to do it, yes.
Okay. And that anyone could do that. Wanted to?
Yeah, people could do it if they're willing to give up X amount of years of their lives for unpaid service so that they could then vote.
But it's not unpaid service because the government would be paying for their food and their housing.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be getting anything additional to that.
Okay, well, why not just have civil servants who are already...
Because civil servants have specific jobs to do, like, working at the DMV and stuff like that, and working in the Social Security office.
So you're basically saying anyone who does community service should get the right to vote?
No, some sort of civil occupational service under the state. That could be like civil firefighting work, maybe. It could be civil paramedic work. It could be there's all sorts of different things you can look at for stakeholder democracy. When we've seen it applied around the world, it's been somewhat successful.
And do the laws apply to everyone in the society or just the people who choose to participate?
Apply to everyone, yeah.
Okay, so how can you create?
Yeah, it'd basically be a merit. It would be a merit-based voting system. Basically, like you would need to do something to earn the vote, and then you would have it. But everybody has the capability of earning that vote as long as they fulfill the merit for it. It seems fair to me, honestly.
And apply a law to people who are not represented. I just don't understand morally. How do you justify?
There's nothing immoral about it.
There's nothing immoral about. I mean, but that's
like
kind of
I would say it's more immoral. Why is it moral for an 18-year-old to nullify the vote of a 41-year-old if the 18-year-old doesn't even know what they're voting for? How's that moral?
Well, because the 18-year-old is still subject to the laws of the state.
Yeah, but they don't even know what they're voting for.
Can an 18-year-old go to jail for 20 years?
A 16-year-old can. Should they be able to vote?
16-year-olds can go to jail.
Yes, they can. 16-year-olds can go to jail for life.
What?
16-year-old can. Should they be able to vote?
16-year-olds can't go to jail.
Yes. They can. 16-year-olds can go to jail for life. Should they be able to vote?
God, shut up, chat. Shut up, chat. She's the smartest. She's the smartest. You stop, chat. You're being misogynistic right now and racist. Okay? Okay, chat. Stop it. Misogynistic, racist. Stop it. Stop it. She's the smartest. She's a smart. Very smart.
I mean, no, but why?
Well, why not? Why not? The laws apply to him, though.
Why would a 16-year-old be going?
Hang
to
on,
jail
I don't understand. Because he murdered someone.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, if you murder someone, that's a whole.
So I don't understand. Why can't he vote? The laws apply to him. Why can't he vote?
Yeah, but we all understand that.
No, we all understand it's not an argument. Why does a 16-year-old get to vote, even though all the laws apply to the 16-year-old?
That was a good
Why
attack,
does he get to
And then all
vote?
the laws apply. They start in juvenile detention, and then at 18, they get the right to go.
So laws apply to 16-year-olds?
But you're retried at 18.
So laws apply to 16-year-olds?
Some laws, of course.
Okay,
yes.
great. Why can't they vote then?
So babies should get the right to vote?
That's
I mean,
my
they're minor.
question to you. That makes no sense.
Oh my god, dude. Andrew has her completely cornered. Like, there's no way out of it.
sense, exactly. So why do we limit it to 18?
Well, that's the age that we've defined as being a legal adult. That's the age that we as a country have universally
But what does that
with our
have
right
to do
vote
with anything?
is
Yeah, but
the
what
age
makes
of
that a
legal
good
adult.
idea? Just
That's
because
the
you
age of
arbitrarily...
consent. That's the age
Yeah,
of-
but just because you arbitrarily say, for instance, that because you're 18 and you're an adult, like you can't buy cigarettes, you can't buy beer, you can't rent a car, but you're an adult... And now you can vote in the
So would you like to
participation of
lower the
democracy.
age of
At
an
least
adult?
raise
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't even make
So
sense.
you'd like to raise it?
At least raise it.
So you would like to universally raise the age to vote? I think that
At
would be a better
least.
idea than like not
No.
allowing
What I
anyone.
say is at least do that. But the thing is, like, you're actually inconsistent here. Your whole argument is to say if laws affect people, they should have a right to vote. But we have an entire cast of people from the age
take the
17
L.
down who laws apply to and can't vote.
Just
and
take
you
the
just
L.
are like, you shrug that off like you didn't contradict yourself.
It's easy. It's easy. You just say fair enough. Fair enough. Just take the L.
Has something to do with brain development, but we've all like you have to have it.
Not fully developed till what, 25 according
But how
to
do you have a
the
society
studies?
in which you don't have an age that someone becomes a legal
I
adult?
agree, but why couldn't you have a society in which you had stakeholder democracy? It would
Because
be, it's the
nobody-
same logic.
So if you're saying that we should not disenfranchise children, why would you then disenfranchise people who are legal adults?
When did I ever make the
what?
claim that I wanted children to be able to vote?
You just said that if everyone should have the
No, I
right to vote.
told you that your view is inconsistent. If it is the case propositionally, you say, Andrew, if laws apply to people, they should be able to vote. Except, I don't know, everybody's 17 and under.
Yeah.
That's inconsistent.
Because the
hang
laws
on, hang
do
on.
apply to children
It's
differently than they
inconsistent
apply to
and a
adults.
contradiction.
But laws do apply to
What about the
children
laws that don't?
differently than
It doesn't
What about
matter.
the laws that don't? What about the laws?
It doesn't even matter the degree at which the degree at which the law applies to children doesn't even matter in the argument, because her argument is that if the law applies to you at all, you should be able to vote. So if the law applies to children, then they should be able to vote according to her own logic. So it doesn't matter the degree of which the law does apply to them. Basically, the degree is just fluff. It has nothing to do with, like, it doesn't break. No matter what the degree is, doesn't make her logic true.
Where you're 17 years old and you can be tried as an adult?
Well, those are to protect like public freedom. I mean,
Right.
but everyone loses civil liberties when they are a danger to the public.
Yeah, but do you
That's
really,
everyone.
Do you understand that you're making a contradiction when you say if laws should apply to all people should have a right to vote because they have laws which can be applied, they can be sent to prison, was your example. That would have to include everyone under the age of 18.
But people under the age of 18 don't go to adult
Yes,
prisons.
they do all the
they
time.
don't.
Yes, they do.
What's your source?
That is. You want me to give you sources of 16?
And it doesn't even matter what prison they go to. It doesn't matter. You could say that they have kid prisons and then they go to the kid prisons. That doesn't actually break the logic at all. Like none of this stuff that she's saying at all refutes what Andrew's saying.
17-year-olds tries adults and sent to adult prisons?
Okay, but that's like an exception for exclusively horrific crimes. I mean, those are violent offenders.
Does the law apply to them or not?
To violent offenders, if you are a threat to public safety, yes.
Okay.
Everyone who
Then
is a
if
threat
the
to public
law
safety,
applies to them and they can be sent to jail, then by your logic, they should be able to vote, which
But for
means
those
you're in
offenders, they are-
contradiction.
To those offenders, they are sent to juvenile detention centers until they turn 18, and then they are sent
Repeal
to an
the
adult
19th?
prison. They are
No,
still
they're
tried
sent-
as a child.
I'd agree if it also includes a law that makes it so that like retarded people that don't know anything about the law can't vote either. Then I agree.
Often to adult centers, even at 17, to adult prisons.
You can be sentenced as an adult, but you can't be sent to an adult prison at the age of 16.
This would depend widely on the state that you're in. It's not rigorously enforced across the board like you think. There's not like, I don't think there's federal laws which say this. But
Well, then I
even if
think
it were the
that's
case,
wrong.
I'll just grant it.
Well, then that's wrong.
I'll even grant the entire thing. It still wouldn't matter. Laws apply to them. They can still be sent to prison.
Land ownership plus IQ test to vote. The problem with IQ test is like IQ doesn't really measure like a person's wisdom. And I think wisdom's a more important stat for voting than it's a more important stat for voting than intelligence, in my opinion.
They fit both of your criteria. Therefore, if you say they
There's
shouldn't
a lot of really smart people that are not very wise.
be able to vote, your worldview's in contradiction.
Well, then I think that's wrong. I don't believe that children should be tried as adults until they have become adults.
So no
I
laws
disagree with
apply to
that.
children.
No.
Well, then why shouldn't they be able to vote?
A threat to public safety always applies to everyone. Threats to public safety always apply to everyone.
But why can't they be able to vote if laws apply to them? That's your example.
Laws apply to children, but they are not, in practice, punished in the same way that they...
Dude, she's trying to fight herself out of this hole so hard, but she is so deep in this hole. There's like no way out, basically. This is... Like she's so cornered. She just has to accept it.
Apply
basically.
to adults. It's applied.
Can they be punished?
Of course they can.
Then
be
why
punished.
can't they vote?
But you have to have some way to maintain societal control. Children aren't just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want because they're
Right.
kids.
You need to be able to have some sort of societal control. So
Yes.
this would mean necessarily disenfranchising some people, wouldn't it?
It would mean necessarily disenfranchising children. Yes, they're not
no,
adults.
it would also mean disenfranchising prisoners. Do you want prisoners to vote on their right to own guns in a prison?
Not their right to own guns in a prison.
Well, then you're
But I
disenfranchising
do think
them.
that people who were in prison and then leave prison should then have
Felons?
the right to vote.
It's a solid trap.
But they're disenfranchised
Andrew.
currently
She's
under the
stuck.
law, right?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. If you're a felon, you can't vote.
Yes. Oh, well, once they leave, yes, I do think that that's disenfranchisement. And I think Florida just rolled that back.
Yeah,
for
but
Florida.
what's wrong
She's like running around in a cage right now. Like she's so trapped.
with disenfranchising like murderers for life?
What's wrong with disenfranchisement? Well, they would be in jail for life. If
No.
they committed a
They're
murder.
out of jail. They're just felons, so they can't vote.
Well, I think that felons should be able to vote once they
Should
have
felons be able to own guns?
No, because it's
Oh, well, I don't understand you. So you're again,
But do you
you're so inconsistent with your disenfranchising.
Pookie, do you understand?
What?
Disenfranchisement should
Mhm.
exist so long as someone is a threat to public safety. The reason why prisoners are not allowed to vote who are currently in prison is because they are a threat to public safety.
16-year-olds aren't a threat to public safety.
No, but they're children. You can't allow anyone to
So
vote
you
who's a
can
child.
arbitrarily disenfranchise people based on the fact that you think
Yeah.
they're not capable of making good voting decisions,
It's
right?
it's all based on like whatever the hell she wants, basically. There's no logical consistency.
No, a child is legally different than an adult.
Because they can't make
You can't have
good-
sex with a child.
Because
That
they
would be
can't
statutory rape.
because they can't make good decisions.
No, because they're legally classified as a child. Do you not understand what
Because
a
they
child is?
can't make good decisions.
Because they're 2 and 3 and 4. They're not legally.
What's the
So
difference?
they
So why,
can't
though?
make good decisions.
No, they can make.
Why is the number of the age the thing that determines whether or not you can vote or not? There has to be a reason, right? Like why is it that a 5-year-old can't vote? It can't be because the number is 5. That can't be the reason, right? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Why would that have to do with anything? If a human being became a fully fledged if they were fully developed at 5 years old, then why would it matter if the number was 5 or the number was 40 or the number was 100? Like why does it matter, basically?
Good decisions, but generally speaking, you can't have children vote. There is a
I
legal
agree
age
with
to vote.
you. You can't.
Okay.
But why is it then that if I were to say that I only want 25-year-olds to vote, I would be disenfranchising?
But you didn't say you only want 25-year-olds to vote. You
do you
said
understand?
that you only want one marriage voting.
Oh my God. Oh my God, breakfast girl.
System per household.
Yeah,
You
well, that's
said
one way, yeah.
You
You got a
want
breakfast
less
eater
of
over here.
both adult men and
But do you
adult
understand how
women
my
to
view is
be able to vote.
consistent, but yours isn't? Because if you were to agree with me that you wanted, like, okay, Andrew, I would compromise the 25-year-olds voting. You've now disenfranchised everyone from the ages of 18 through 24.
If you were considered
all
a legal
overnight.
adult, you should be able to vote. That's my state. If you are considered a legal adult, if you are tried as an adult, if you are allowed to buy a house,
Yeah.
This is the best they have to offer, Chad. This is the best. This is their hero. This is their knight in shining armor that they sent to the tournament. Oh my God.
have a child.
But that leads to the problem is that leads to political tribalism. So, like, for instance, why is it a healthy society to have men and women who are married voting against each other? That's a terrible idea.
Because they're both like. But if a man commits a murder, does his wife go to jail for that crime?
No.
No, because they're not the same fucking person.
What does that have to do with anything?
If they're different people and they're both tried differently and they both have separate lives and
Yeah.
separate bank accounts
Yeah.
and separate bodily and physical autonomy,
Yeah.
then they should each get a stake in this government. No.
Well, that literally has nothing to do with what I just asked.
They're not the same
So real
person,
quick,
so
can
why
you-
should they be represented
You remember
under the
how I
same
said
thing?
yes and no to your question? Can you do that for me? Remember how I was like yes and just answered it? Can you actually do that for me
I
too?
don't remember that at all.
You literally just asked me that question. You said if a husband's carted off to prison, does her wife go to prison? I said no.
Okay.
Can you do that for me too, and then give your explanation? Because otherwise, I don't know your actual
I said
position.
His thing and then gave the explanation.
So now I'd like to know:
You should listen
do you
to
think it's a good idea for wives and husbands to be able to vote against each other's interests?
They should both have a vote. Yes.
Well, but they can vote against each other's interests, right?
That is circumstantial. They may not. They might.
Yeah, they may not. They might. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But why is it good that option's even there? Seems like a terrible idea.
Because in a representative democracy, everyone should be represented with a vote.
Yeah, I get that's a descriptive truth, but you're not telling me why that should be the case. If I were to give you the counterclaim here, I would say if you had like one household voting or something like this, it would be much more uniform and wouldn't divide families against each other. And that's exactly what the vote has done.
But they're both subject to the same legislative, like they can both be legislated independent of each other, right?
No, well, not really. One cannot at that point make a decision that doesn't affect the other one usually.
Yes, I can.
Not really. What?
I mean, Roe v. Wade. That only affects a woman's body, right? No?
You think that if a man is married to a woman and she goes and aborts his baby, that doesn't affect him?
Of course it does, but it affects him differently than his body.
But it's still, but that's my whole point is that everything they do in this household is going to affect each other.
Sure.
So you wouldn't want to promote systems
But they
which
still are
divide husbands
individuals.
against wives.
But they're individuals, no.
What does
Are
that
they
do
the
with
same person?
anything?
Are they the same person or not?
This is not what's in dispute.
Are they the same person or not?
Okay, no.
Then why should they not each have an individual liberty? What if they get a
Because
divorce?
you don't want to set up systems that divide them against each
You know, honestly, like if it makes people feel better, what you could do is you could say that men and women don't have a vote, but then when you get married and there's like both of you together and then you have kids, then you get a vote like together. That would work. You could do that. Actually, they might fight over that. Actually, that actually might cause husbands and wives to fight. I have to think about it more. That could be a problem.
other. That's
well,
a bad
then don't
idea.
Marry someone who doesn't want to vote for you with you, but that's
No, do you?
Oh, true. If you made it after a certain amount of time, then they have time to like build a stronger marriage, and then they could then they could actually have the debate thing. Or what you could have is you could make it so that yeah, I mean, I think that would work. Actually, that would work. That and then you would also give it to people. I mean, it doesn't have to be like one way to do it. Like you could have multiple like routes into like getting a vote. Like for instance, like military. I think military should get a vote because they're putting their lives on the line, basically. Like I think that having a stake in the country, that's a pretty high stake. Is like you put your life on the line, so that makes sense to me. And I think the family aspect would be also really important because the stake there would be the future of your kids, right? So it's kind of like having these things that, or for example, like what Andrew said, where if you do a certain amount of community service or community work, to show basically that like you have earned your vote. I think like any of those methods, even if you had all of them at the same time, and non-stacking, of course, or you could do stacking. Honestly, even if you did stacking, I wouldn't care. But if you do any of those things, you get a vote. I think makes a lot more sense. Because then you don't have the problem of people voting just because they don't really care, or if someone basically tells them who to vote for, buys their vote. Like it really avoids a lot of the abuse in the voting system. I think, like, yeah, it removes a lot of the abuse, and I think that's a good thing.
Understand that like people's preferences change over time, and there could be various reasons in which, if you have a tribal type of mentality, like take abortion, for instance. Abortion's a great one. Do you think that it's possible that women, for instance, could hold it against their husband and say things like, do this or I'll abort your child? They could actually do that, right?
yeah, hypothetically, sure.
Yeah, and have
that
done
would be
that.
immoral.
And have done that.
That would be immoral.
Yeah,
and wrong.
but you wouldn't say they couldn't go get the abortion, would you?
But would you say a man can?
But hang on. Answer the question
Yep,
first.
answer it.
What?
You wouldn't say that they shouldn't be allowed to do that, though, would you?
Well, if it would be disenfranchising millions of other women who aren't.
No,
in that
no,
situation,
that's
then we can
What
keep
the
them in
yes
that.
or no, please. You wouldn't say that you.
Oh my god,
you
she's so
would not
squirrely,
actually
dude.
say
She's like an
that
eel.
they should not be allowed to get the abortion, right?
No, I think everyone should have access to.
Okay,
free
so
will.
even if it were the case that a woman, right, was holding.
She's like those damn flying bots from Ark Raiders, man. Just like spinning around in the air. You can't even pin it down.
the man basically emotionally hostage with her pregnancy and said, do what I say or I'll get an abortion, right? You would not make any claim that she could or could not get that abortion, would you?
I would make a claim that what she's doing is immoral,
Doesn't
but I
matter.
wouldn't make
That's
a
not what
claim
he's
that
asking.
because
Should
one
anything
person is
happen to a
immoral.
woman who does that?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, that's blackmailing. I think
It's
that's a
not
crime.
blackmail.
I think on a level, it's emotional blackmail. I
Yeah.
think you should be able
So
to sue someone
what
for
should happen?
emotional
Should they
blackmail.
go to jail?
I mean, maybe pay damages or a fine.
A fine?
Yeah.
How much should the fine be?
I don't know.
$200?
How much is an abortion?
They'd be the same as an abortion.
Can I ask you a question?
So just
Can
to
I
get
ask
this
you a
right, well, I
question?
want to finish this real quick.
No, can
and
I
then we
ask
can
you a
move
question?
back. Well, no, you can't tell.
I have a solution. How about they get aborted, huh? How about that's the penalty? Is that they get aborted as well? Like right now.
Finish the
No.
inquiry.
Okay,
but
well,
then
I'm
you
not
can,
going to answer your question.
but you can
How about
inquire
that?
back. I just want to finish this inquiry, the line of inquiry. That's all. So just to make sure I got this right, you have now said that the tribal voting does indeed pit husband against wife, has a potential to do so. Right. And I've even conceded to specific examples of where it would be in a woman's interest to vote against her husband, to have a right to do something which could be used against him later. And then said, well, the punishment should be like, oh, maybe she pays a fine if something like that happens. And how are you going to convince people that that's a better system than one household voting? That's a terrible system.
Because then the leader of that household or the head of that household has control over the right and the will of every single person in that household. You're fundamentally denying people free will. They're not allowed to. Yes, they are. Because if they're
Fundamental
both
denying of free will, huh?
Because if they're both legislated by the same government, and one of them has no say in who is elected into that government,
So?
but still, because you're still
They still have
impacted
free
by
will.
law, but you're still impacted by laws.
So what? You're being impacted by laws when you're 17. They can't vote. You have a consistency
Not to the
issue.
same extent as an 18-year-old.
No,
Not
the,
at the same
the
extent.
extent doesn't matter. The extent doesn't matter. It's already a consistency issue. Even if it's the smallest, even if the smallest penalty, it's still a consistency issue. It doesn't matter.
Can have it to the same extent as an 18-year-old.
Even if literally like if it was by law that a 16-year-old person committed a crime, they get a slap on the wrist, like a literal slap on the wrist. That's still an enforcement of something. It's still an enforcement of violence, right? But it's still an enforcement of something when they can't vote.
In very
no way
rare
out of it.
exceptions, but you're
Yeah, but they
fighting on
can
it.
then.
But
So you're
fighting on an
disenfranchising
exception.
people.
But look at you, you're around the fringe. You're fighting on an exception. We're talking about the general population.
Even in the general
I'm not talking
population.
about murderers. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about
So
serial
let's start
killers.
with
I'm
this.
not talking about school shooters.
I don't think it's generally speaking a good idea to let 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds to vote, to disenfranchise the votes of people who are politically informed because they're being used as a leverage voting block for elitists. And that's what's actually happening. What's actually happening was what you just said. You know, NGOs
so
and
agree.
lobbyists are lobbying Congress to get various things passed. And what they do is they try to leverage the votes from a tribalist purview in order to get the things that they want, right? And 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds are highly impressionable, right? So are 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds highly impressionable. And one way that you could eliminate this idea that they could be gone after by the parasitic NGOs who run things is by simply limiting the ability to vote to people who have such a political interest that they actually do social service for up to 5
Yes.
years so that...
So basically, the reason behind the social service thing is by making a barrier to entry, you only make it so people who are actually for real interested in voting will do it, right? So like if you're a person that goes, I actually really care about the vote and I really want my vote because I care about what happens in this country, I'm going to do an entire year of community service in order to get that ability to vote, or I'm going to join the military in order to get that ability to vote, or I'm going to immediately have a family and raise a bunch of kids in order to have the vote. All of these things basically add a barrier to entry, which makes your vote far more than or even if you wanted to vote at least you put something on the line. You put something on your life, and you did something in order to actually have the right to do that. And that's the reason why it's a good idea in my opinion, because the idea that like you can have a person who just has a vote by default when they haven't done anything at all to deserve it, and all they do is take from social systems, it doesn't make any sense that you would allow that.
Then we can trust them with the right to vote.
Okay, I have 2 statements. Can you let me get through them?
Sure.
Okay, so here's number 1. I agree that lobbying generally is bad. I'm not here for NGOs.
We
I don't
live for
think anyone
dictator.
really
I don't
is.
want. I don't want to be a dictator. I don't want to be anywhere near involved in the government. To be honest, like that sounds fucking awful. If you told me tomorrow that I could be president, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather make stupid videos on the internet and play Dungeons and Dragons. Well, not D&D. Play tabletop. I'd rather play tabletop games, RPGs, and Arc Raiders.
I mean, but the whole point of why we don't like them is because we want to be represented by our legislators fairly and accurately, and we don't want it to be the...
Wait, actually, hold on. If I'm the dictator, can I say that? Can I put someone else in charge? Because if I'm the dictator, I technically could do that, right? I could technically say, okay, well, oh, actually, you know what? Yes, I do want to be a dictator. Just kidding. I changed my mind. I do want to be the dictator because all I'm going to do is say, okay, I'm the dictator. Okay, JD Vance, president for life. President for life. He's the new king, by the way, guys. I'm going to go play video games all day. Arc Raiders. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Leave me alone. I'm going to be in my bunker. Wake me up if something happens, basically. And that's yeah. You know what? Totally. I'd totally be a dictator.
The control of a private interest group.
I'd do it.
So lobbying's bad.
I'd do
yes,
it. Yeah.
Generally, I think that lobbyists and NGOs are not
bad.
good. But what I don't understand is, if that's the issue, why not ban NGOs? Why not have a platform that's standing against NGOs?
Also, Max. Our priority would be to make combat Max. That would be, yeah. That's a new military thing. Also, tell me. Okay, my 3 things as dictator. 1, JD Vance, president for life. 2, leave me alone in my bunker. I just want to play games. Number 3, tell me the truth about aliens. Tell me right now, are aliens real? What do they look like? I want to see one, and take me on a flight on one of those UFOs, and then yeah, and then 4 combat Max. Yeah. Using the alien, maybe we can like talk about the alien technology, how like that fits into like into that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, another thing. Another thing that we could do that would be kind of cool is like if you took all the women that said that they would rather be in the woods with a bear than a man. What we do is we set up we set up a cage match where they have to stand in so it's like a cage, like a celebrity death match, or like, you know, like a UFC cage match. You have the cage match, right? And then each of those women that said that, you put them in the cage, and then you give them the option of a man standing in the cage with them or a bear, and they get to pick one. And that way they have they put their money where their mouth is. That'd be kind of great, honestly. I think it'd be very entertaining. It'd be very, very entertaining. It'd be like good for society as a whole because we get to watch that. It'd be like pretty fun.
Lobbyists. I think that'd be something great.
Yeah, so
if you did that, that'd be
honestly,
awesome.
I'd be a really good dictator, you guys. I'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'd be a pretty good dictator. Also, national sport is now Keijo. Totally forgot about that one. Yeah. Sorry, baseball. Sorry, football. New national sport, Keijo.
So this is a great question, but here's the problem, right? Yeah. This is the leverage of tribalism, and why you can't really do that. So on social issues, right? There are NGOs out there, for instance, who have a vested interest in abortions being legal, right? This goes out into the social ethos, and now we're battling over the...
Keijo is a sport where basically you have women in swimsuits, and they're standing on top of an inflatable platform, and they have to knock each other off of the inflatable platform, or you can also win by knockout, and you can only attack people with your butt and your boobs. Butt, boobs, and hips are the only things you can attack with.
Social issue, we have become tribal, right? We've become tribal. Then you have NGOs who battle against it, let's say, this social issue. They also are making a ton of money off of the counter battle, let's say. Yeah. Also,
yeah, that's a real sports anime, by the way. You should look it up. It's called Keijo. It's actually incredible. It's actually one of the best sports anime. Like actually, like the actual story and the sequences, like the actual sports sequences, are like so good. And that anime. Listen, an anime with a special technique called the vacuum butt cannon has like no business being that good. It has no business being that cinema. It's actually ridiculous. It's actually offensive. That's like that good. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. It's actually a really good show.
utilizing political tribalism. The whole idea here is divisive tribalism is what enables NGOs to begin with.
It's Keijo. 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 Yeah, it came out like a couple of years ago. I actually saw it for the first time with Remote. Remote was over at my house. We had a bunch of friends over, and this is when I still lived in California. Like my brother was over, Remo was over, and yeah, I had a bunch of friends over. And Remo was like, guys, we're gonna watch Keijo right now. And I was like, what? And he's like, yes, right now. Here's my Crunchyroll account. We're going to watch Keijo literally right now. But we were like, but why? And he's like, there is no discussion. I am the dictator now. I've decided we're watching Keijo. And so like we just, okay, fine. So we started watching Keijo and we were like, yo, this is amazing. This is fucking cinema. And we ended up watching the entire thing like in one sitting. Because it was so good. Yeah, it was so good.
They make a ton of money off of it, especially off of race hustling and DEI.
So then again, why not just ban NGOs and lobbyists?
Yeah,
and
you can't
allow everyone to still have a vote in a representative
I'm giving
democracy.
you the descriptor.
I think it's hilarious that you keep calling democracy tribalism.
It leads to tribalism, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Full democracy leads to tribalism.
So
There's
does
no way around it.
sports.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so does sports. Sure.
Should we ban sports?
No, why would you ban sports? That's the total non sequitur. It makes no sense.
Why would you ban a huge percentage of the population from voting?
Because I would want to avoid political tribalism so that elitists can't exploit low information voters, which they do right now, in order to enslave the planet.
So you're basically saying that people are too stupid to have the right to vote?
Yes.
That's dumb, dude.
Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, of course I think people are stupid.
Well, then what are you arguing with me about?
If I want a right to vote, then I should give them the right to vote.
Why? But listen, think about what you just said. Yeah, dude, I agree that people are too stupid to vote, but give them the right to vote anyway.
I don't think people are too stupid to vote.
Why? So they're too stupid to function, but they're smart enough.
Stupid to function.
Come on. You think that people who go and generally cast a ballot are high information voters, or they barely even know what the hell they're talking about?
I mean, do you have a statistic on how many of them are?
Yeah, you could do street polls. A lot of people have no idea what's even going on with the issues. A lot of people are just bused to poll booths. They get bribed to do it. This happens on both sides of the aisle. Like, how many times have you seen canvassing campaigns who go out there and they're canvassing, they knock on doors, that people don't even know what the hell they're talking about?
So what, you think we should do an IQ test for everyone to have?
And it's even, the worst thing about it is it's even more nefarious than that, because it's like I said, they say, hey, vote for me, I give you more welfare money. Yeah, vote for me, more money for you in your pocket. If you vote for the other guy, he's going to take away your money. But I am going to take money from the billionaires and the millionaires and the business owners. I'm going to give it to you. Yes. And they go, whoa? Money for me? Okay.
That's been suggested, right? But I have a better plan than an IQ test. I would not disenfranchise a person from being able to vote because they have like an average IQ.
Yes.
What I would do is disenfranchise a person to vote if they were low information. One way I could find out if they were really politically motivated is if they sacrificed years of their lives to the state in order to get that right to vote.
So you want to punish people for being stupid?
No, I just don't want them to nullify well-informed votes from people who are smart and on the issues and understand the issues.
But taking away someone's vote would be punishing them in a sense.
It's not punishing them.
Yeah,
It's actually stopping them from punishing themselves and the rest of
true.
society because they're easily exploited by social elites.
That's fair. I mean, but why not then just target education? Like, why not then
We
try to
spend
fund
5% of the entire GDP of the United States on education. It's the highest anywhere in the world, and we have some of the dumbest people on planet Earth.
Tetraethyl lead, man. Can you guys imagine like how much that guy fucked up the world? It's actually crazy. The guy who like added lead to gasoline and like he was like, it's fine, guys. I'm huffing it. Look. It's fine. Like that guy fucked up society. Like, so like that guy made like multi-generational centuries levels of damage to humanity. It's actually crazy. We could probably have starships by now. We could have cured cancer already.
Literacy rate is barely. You know what the literacy rate is?
Yeah, it's garbage.
It's trash. And we spend 5%, the biggest GDP on planet Earth. We spend 5% total of our GDP on education. And you think that education's going to solve the problem of the low information
the
voter?
issue is that people are stupid. Help them be smarter.
There's a lot of that is a mixture of genes and environment and nourishment and all sorts of different things.
That's true.
It's like you can't, this whole progressive
Well, if
idea.
it's environment and nourishment,
Hang on.
then why not detect
this
those
whole
things?
stupid progressive idea of like, you just can just educate people into whatever it is that it's like, no.
No, it's like when you play like D&D and you roll for stats. Oh, okay, guys, listen. You know what it's like? Some people, you know, when you have the blue Uma and you have the pink Uma, and then they have they inspire another Uma, they get sparks, right? Sometimes you get wit sparks, sometimes you get gut spark, sometimes you get power spark. Not everybody gets wit sparks, okay?
Really can't. Like, there's a lot of people who are just going to be fucking janitors, okay? There's a lot of, okay?
All right.
There's a lot of people who are just going to be fucking janitors and who are just going to be fucking toilet bowl cleaners.
Dude, there's nothing wrong about that either. Like, those people are so good. They're so necessary for society, and they do an important role. There's nothing wrong with that.
Cleaners and who are just going to be fucking bartenders and are really not.
The funny thing is one of the smartest guys I know is a janitor, which is actually hilarious. Like, one of my smarter friends is a janitor, and he's like, I asked him the other day. I said, "Yo, why are you a fucking janitor? Like, you're really smart. Like, why are you a janitor?" And he's like, "I just want to play games. I don't really give a fuck." I was like, okay, based.
Not meant to build fucking rocket ships, okay?
I know, but they're still subject to laws. So they
Yeah, I
still get
know,
a
but
say.
just being
and it's
but
frustrating, but it's just a fact.
Yeah,
if I want free will and they want, and you want free will, and we deserve the right.
He's like, yo, job's pretty easy. I get to chill while I'm working, and then I don't have to worry about anything. I go home and, you know, I do whatever I want. Like, sounds like a good time.
To vote, then
To be honest.
You're not eliminating free will by this.
You are,
You're
though.
protecting the rest of society
Wait, what the hell?
from low information.
What is that? Where did that come from? I had another window up, and I guess it auto-played like 10 years later.
Information voters destroying their lives.
Yeah,
Like, do you
but you
really
still
think?
can't
Let me ask you
take
this.
someone else's free
Let me
will.
ask-
Yeah, it was 31 Atlas. Yeah, that's what that was. That was the signal. That was the activation signal. Yes. Now my alien transformation is occurring now.
ask you
Because
this.
they're
If you were
humans.
yeah, but you're not really doing that. What you're doing.
A vote
is
an
over
exercise of free
humans.
will.
Let me ask you this: if you had to choose,
Yeah.
right,
I was waiting this whole time.
for your family,
Sure.
and you knew that you could move them to a place where there was a bunch of people who were highly informed on political processes in the local community, or you can move them to a place where people didn't give a shit, right? Which place would you prefer them to be?
I would prefer them to be in the higher.
Of course,
Obviously,
right? At
yeah.
the place where the people are the most
Hold on.
informed.
Speaking of which, my mother's calling me. Here, I'm a screener. Sorry, Mom. Love you.
Now, if you were able to, if these people were able to cast votes and nullify all of the votes of you high information voters, right? Wouldn't it actually be better for them and for you to disenfranchise their voting so that you guys could actually vote on political and policy issues that made sense?
Well, I don't think that stupid people are nullifying all of the votes of smart people.
Really? Think about what you just said. Can you think about what you just? Do you think there's more stupid people or smart people?
In this country, yeah, it's probably more.
Okay, so you really don't think stupid people are nullifying the votes of smart people?
On a certain level, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they still deserve free will. I can't.
They
rob
still
someone-
have free will.
They don't, because they're still subject to the laws of
Voting
this country.
is a privilege. If you go to Australia and you commit a crime, can you go to jail in Australia?
Yeah.
But you can't vote in Australia, right?
Sure.
So do you see how that makes no sense? Like
It
what
does
you're
make
saying
sense,
makes
though.
no
I mean,
sense.
if you travel to another country and endanger people, like that's a threat.
You're not
to
even
public
endangering
safety.
people. If you're just like drunk in public, you can be arrested.
That is a threat to public safety. Public intoxication is a
Look,
threat to public
that
safety.
doesn't mean you're going to actually do anything wrong.
What he should say is, if you go to Australia and you steal from someone, right? Because these people wouldn't consider that to actually be like a violent act. So that's what you should use.
Right?
Would have been a good opening.
Yeah.
I mean, drunken people are habitually more
you
violent,
could break
statistically more
or
violent.
you could break some public ordinance, right? You could break some public ordinance you didn't know about, like you're on a beach, right?
Yeah.
And you're in your shorts, and it was supposed to be t-shirts and shorts, you know, something like this.
Yeah, but breaking public ordinances doesn't lead to jail time.
It does if you don't pay the fine.
Well, then you should pay the fucking fine.
Well, see what I mean, though? So you are subject to those laws,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
you are
matter.
subject to imprisonment based on those laws.
You
And if
should
that's the case, you can't vote in those countries.
Okay, but you're not a citizen of that country. You're still a citizen of this country. If you were a citizen
That's my
of this
whole
country
point,
and you
though.
live here and you are subject to the
Yeah.
laws of this country for your entire life, from
Yeah.
birth to death,
Yeah.
you should have
Why do you
stake.
want dumb people to disenfranchise your well-informed vote? That makes no sense. Not only that, you say that you're actually emboldening them with their
I
free
totally
will,
agree with
right?
Andrew here,
It's
by
like,
the way.
that's so silly because ultimately these people who are
It's so I don't know why it's so weird that if you say something like this, like, hey, I think we should make it harder to vote, people go fucking ape shit for some reason. Like they go real crazy about it. Like, oh, like dictator, like it just seems like so basic to me. I don't, for all the reasons that Andrew stated, it's like I have such a hard time grasping why people immediately go to like it being some kind of vile thing to like say. I don't know.
politically low.
It's the same thing with people having like stats at birth, right? With like there's like a like you have like a stat RNG basically, genetic stat RNG, and like the problem, guys, everybody knows this. Everybody freaking knows this. Why the hell do people breed the fastest horses to get a faster horse? To get that, why do they take two? Why do they specifically go, that horse is fast, that horse is fast, let's breed those together to make fast horse? What? Where do we know that intuitively? And then you try to like bring that up with any kind of like humanity thing, and people get so fucking pissed off. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody intuitively knows this is the case, scientifically, and in many other ways. And it's like, yeah, obviously some people are just stupid. You can't teach them out of it, basically. Some people are just like, I'm never gonna play freaking basketball or football.
Information, there's so low information, you're allowing them to get taken advantage of.
Of course, I don't want dumb people to disenfranchise my vote, but I don't think that the solution to that is a one marriage voting system. Or
Because it's
you
a
have to do
scary
public
word.
service for 5 years. To have
just believing in the, and this is another thing of like, this is another issue of ought versus is, right? Where we all know that is, and that's how it works. I'm not saying we kill everybody that is like below a certain IQ. It's not the same thing. It's making like a false assumption about what I believe, basically. When I state like this is like the reality of the world, obviously, and everybody knows this is the reality, I'm not saying we kill everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, where did you get that from? You know, like I don't understand.
But can't dumb people do that too? Like, couldn't a dumb person just do some fucking community service for 5 years and then get paid? I mean, like, there are dumb people in the army.
Listen, I agree with you that there can be some stupid people who get through the system, but they're not going to be probably low information. You're not going to go through 5 years of civil service like that.
No, I don't believe in that, guys. Stop.
For the purpose of being able to
Stop.
vote. and be low information. Or you
They
wouldn't
already,
do it.
guys, they already think I'm a newtsie. Okay, fucking stop. I don't believe that.
Interest. That's what the whole
Man,
point
you'd be
is.
surprised. Well, if your housing
SMH.
and your food is paid for, I think there are a lot of people who'd be interested in that. The army. I mean, that's like exactly a
The
version
army,
of
you
civil
have
service.
to take the army. You have to take an ASVAB test, and you have to score X amount of a score in order to even be placed in those things.
Big dog. My boyfriend's a vet. He talks about some dumb motherfuckers in the army.
Sure, there's dumb people in the army,
But so they would.
but
be
to
given-
qualify for certain jobs, you can't be. And for civil service or something like this, you can do intelligence tests or
Okay,
things
so
like
you're
that.
basically saying there should be an IQ test and
Well, the other thing too is it's not just about the IQ test. It's about the again, it's not about passing some intelligence test. It's about showing that you have a stake in America. That's what it is. You have a stake in the country, and that you're going to serve the country in like whatever way that is, and you have a buy-in. You did a thing that gains you the vote. You don't get vote because you came out of your mom crying, and now you have a vote because you reached level 18. Well, you didn't even reach level 18. You literally AFK'd for 18 years, and now you get a vote randomly. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
only those who would like to be civil
Yeah.
servants
If you're
who pass that IQ test.
Well, I
should
think
be
you
allowed
should
to vote.
probably implement an IQ test for the military too, which they do.
Yeah, but people say.
I mean, but they
Do
do.
they?
But they do, unless it's in wartime and they're like, okay, well, you just need a body in here.
I still don't think IQ is a good metric for voting, to be honest. I kind of disagree on that part.
And then they'll grab anybody off the street. But yeah,
Can we ask about right
It's
now?
about wisdom.
I want to confirm that.
of course.
I think.
Aiden, do you do IQ tests for the military?
Wait, you want boyfriend reveal?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Wait. Oh, go. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just go
Wait,
around
he's
that one.
coming in?
Yeah, there
Call
are
him in
people
the
who are there who are
boyfriend.
dumb. That's true, but they.
Here, baby, come here first.
If you can,
Yeah.
just kind of like.
I've heard of that. It's called a
Crouch
Cat
right
5
here.
waiver, right? They give them a Cat 5 waiver.
Category 5 waivers. I'm talking about.
Can you just?
Baby, come here.
Shalom. Hi.
Not so up.
In terms of like people in the army
Colonizer.
and IQ tests, like I've taken the ASVAB, it is not a very difficult test, and a lot of people get their ASVABs taken for them. I knew guys in the army who were like medically diagnosable with mental deficiencies, and were still in the army doing jobs that in theory required a certain level of mental faculty.
Sure. Yeah, the system can get gamed, but those are exceptions, not the rule.
I wouldn't really go that far.
Hey man, it's not my rules, chat. Not my rules. I'm not the one who says. I'm not the one who agrees with that. Okay, I'm not. I don't agree with that. Okay.
To be honest with you, and then also in terms of your,
You don't think the majority of people are stupid or in the army are stupid, do you?
I think that there are a great number of people who join the army because they want a place to live, and
She
so
got
because
her
the system
stand
is
out.
prescribed, and that's pretty much independent.
They seem to be joining the army based around patriotism, the
When were
ability
you
to
in
get
the army?
paid, the ability to do things
Dude,
like.
to be honest though, she kind of looks like a JoJo character. To be honest, if like her shirt was better, if her shirt was like a little bit more like stylistic, like she would totally look like a JoJo's character. To be honest,
that.
and
What?
he kind of does look like a Stan too. Actually, if he also had if you gave them better shirts, they could totally look like JoJo's character in the Stan
Is that-
for sure.
Were you in the army?
Yeah.
I was in the army for a very limited amount of time, years and years ago.
How long was that very limited amount of time, if you don't mind me asking?
It wasn't very about a year.
About a year. So what happened? 'Cause
Well,
actually,
it doesn't matter what happened.
Oh, but we're talking about service, man.
What about it?
So you want to disenfranchise people based on military service? I actually know why most
Why
people
would?
join the
What are
army.
you talking
What is he
about?
talking
How would I
about?
disenfranchise
What?
them based on military service?
No, you
it
said
would
you
be the
wanted to
opposite.
disenfranchise those
If you're
who
requiring people to serve
No,
in the
it wouldn't
military-
require them to serve in the army. Literally didn't say that.
I'm sorry about
All
that.
right,
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah, I literally didn't say that.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Adjust this.
So now we've established that people in the army can very much be stupid. So
Nobody ever disputed you can have stupid people in the army.
Okay,
so
literally agreed
again,
with
we're
that
trying
earlier,
to go
My
back.
question-
We're trying to
yeah.
figure out
So
how
let's see
your
if we
system
can't.
would work
Yeah, so
in
s-
terms of
Yeah.
those who are participating in some sort of civil service.
Yeah, so you would have some
are-
type of civil service, right? Which
Okay.
a person would participate in for at least 5 years.
5 years.
Yes, unpaid.
5?
Yes, unpaid.
That's ridiculous.
Why? Do you think that the person who participated in it for 5 years unpaid would really want to be politically informed by the end of that? Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's 5 years of not
5's kind of
having-
long.
Like that's 5 years of like housing is paid for, food is paid
Service
for.
guarantees citizenship.
So can I ask who's paying for 5 years of millions of people participating in a civil?
Well, chances would be pretty good it wouldn't be millions, or at least not hundreds of millions of people participating in such a system.
So
It'd be
you
a
would
very
like to
low
limit the
demographic.
voting block in this country to less than? There's 430 million people in this country, and you'd like to limit it
Nah,
to less
330 million.
than hundreds of millions?
It's 330 million in the United States, I think. 336 million or something.
Regardless, you would still like to limit it to, I misspoke, my bad, but you
Yeah.
would still like to limit it to less than, you would like to limit it to hundreds of thousands of people?
Yeah.
You think it's
Yeah.
fair for hundreds of thousands of people to speak on behalf of 360 million people?
Do you think it's fair right now to have 100 senators do that?
No, but we still vote for the senators.
Yeah, I know, but do you really think you're getting...
They don't just
hang
walk
on.
up and say, "Hello, sir, I would
Do you
like to
think
be a
you're
senator."
really
Like,
getting
you're
political...
voting.
Wait, you think you're really getting political representation inside of a state like New York with 2 people?
I don't live in New York. Though.
I know, but inside the state of New York, do you really think
But I didn't have breakfast this morning.
the state of New York is getting adequate... I know, 2 people?
Right here. Right here.
I don't live in New York.
I know, but inside the state of New York, do you really think the state of New York is getting adequate political representation on Capitol Hill with 2 fucking people?
Well, that's why you have the Senate and the House, and the House. is
2
based on-
people who are your senator. You really think
Every
that
state gets 2 senators.
100 people are representing 330 million people? At the very top, it's 1 person who's representing 330 million people's
So are you
interests.
advocating that we shouldn't have government? at
No,
all?
what I'm saying to you is that, like, it's very silly for me to look at an argument like you're making and say, oh my God, 100,000 people are going to be in charge, or 200,000 people are going to be in charge. Like, ultimately, 1 person's in charge.
So you're saying that
Ultimately, 1 person's in charge.
but there's still checks and balances. That 1 person isn't a king.
There
They don't
still
have
would be checks and
tyrannical
balances with
monopoly over
limited
all
voting.
Power in the guard.
There's still
How
checks and
far did we
balances
get?
with limited voting.
Yeah, but
Oh my God, chat, we're not even halfway there. We're not even halfway done with the video.
we still do not get to decide who is in our legislator. As a
And this
voting
is
body,
part
we do not
one.
get
That's right. This is part 1. There's a rematch that just happened.
to decide who is
You
in
would
the
still
legislature.
have people from within your various communities who would be voters, and they would decide who it is that...
Check DMs real quick. Yeah, sure. Chat. Man. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
went to represent...
I just realized, you guys, I got a DM saying Kick needs a refresh on stream. Are you guys chatting in Kick so that you're on screen? You guys. Yeah, I left the Kick chat and the Twitch chat up. You guys are literally chatting like on stream. Well, luckily the YouTube version actually saves the chat. So like the chat will actually be just saved in the sidebar. So YouTube chat will be on the video.
you on Capitol Hill.
That sounds very expensive and very pointless, if I'm being honest.
How is that expensive? Okay, fine.
Because you have to pay for all their housing.
Then if you want to
Guys,
do that,
I'm not even streaming on Kick and Twitch. They're literally just chatting in the chat rooms for Kick and Twitch. I'm not streaming on there. I'm only streaming on YouTube.
there's another way you could do this too. If you didn't want to do like the civil service way, you could do
Murphy.
1 vote per house.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just thought. It's because she looks like Rick James. That's why. Look, somebody in the corner, in the bottom left corner, someone did a super chat to the whatever podcast that just says Charlie Murphy. Yeah, cold blooded. Pull up Rick James. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Well, this isn't like actually Rick James. This is like the oh my. Oh man. That's crazy.
Other way you
That's
could do this
crazy,
too. If
man.
you didn't want to do like the civil service way, you could do one vote per household. That would limit the voting significantly. Hang on.
Okay.
And it would be not expensive at all. But
Okay.
there's even another way that you can do it on top of that.
Alrighty.
Right? But let's just start with like
I
one
love the
household
Chappelle show,
voting.
man.
Same
That was such a
thing.
good show.
Let's do it.
You can eliminate whatever this like perceived cost is that you have. Another thing you could do is just eliminate anybody being able to vote until they reach the same age that they could become president of the United States.
Is that not 35?
Mm-hmm.
So you think that everyone under 35 should lose the right to vote?
Why shouldn't everyone under 35
That
be
was the
able?
most boomer shit I've ever
Why
heard
shouldn't
in my
everybody
life.
under 35 be able to be the president of the United States?
Well, because they don't have the... But they're still...
Why? Answer the question.
Because they do not yet have the experience in politics to run an entire country.
So
But just
good, yeah.
because you can't run
Exactly.
okay, Andrew, but just because you can't run an entire country doesn't mean that you should still not have the right to have one singular vote. It's one vote.
What are you talking about?
Yes, you can't be the president, but you are still susceptible to the laws. You can have a kid at 35. You can have a house at 35.
So,
Like,
yeah, what?
what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
But you can't be president.
below
Can't be
35,
president, yeah.
legislatively,
Yeah.
below
Uh-huh.
35,
Yeah.
from 18 to 34,
Uh-huh.
all of these people are
Uh-huh.
impacted at the same level.
No, they're not all impacted at the same level. In fact, I would say...
Can they
I
all
would
go to
say-
jail for committing a crime?
Yes, I would say the
Then
opposite.
yes, they're
I would say
impacted
like
as well.
people between the ages of 18 and like 25 are mostly living at home, right? And their parents are the ones who are mostly impacted by legislation, not them. And
That
their
sounds like a
parents
skill issue.
and their parents should actually probably have more say than them. Their parents actually
Did
have
she
more
say it was a
autonomy than they
skill
do because
issue?
they're dependents on them, right? Completely.
Honestly, guys, let me tell you a little tip, okay? If you haven't heard this tip yet, it's a very important tip, okay? Very important life tip here. If you're cool with your parents and your parents like love you and they want to support you and all that stuff, you should live with your parents like early. It is the biggest early game advantage that you could possibly do. Like if you have a family, you have parents, and they're still alive and they want to take care of you and they love you, and they're okay with you living at home, you should 100% live at home, and then pay rent, but to yourself. So pay rent and then store that in a bank account or invest it, whatever you want to do. Invest in something short term, non-risky, and then basically after a while you pull that out, down payment for a house, because otherwise it is the dumbest thing. Like, I don't know why people did this. They made it like a virtue to move out immediately, basically, and I don't think that that's even smart. Or at least at the very minimum, pay your parents' rent at the very minimum so the money stays within your household. But like going out on your own and being like, I'm a strong, independent person. I don't want to live with my family. I'm going to go live by myself in an apartment and pay like $2,000 a month or however much it costs, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me when you could just be saving that money. You're at home. Your mom or your dad, whoever the hell cooks in your house, gives you warm, hot, delicious, home-cooked meals. You can like pitch in for food, right? You'd be like, oh, I'll pitch in for food, sure, right? Then you stay in your room, you build up the money, you go work, You go work like a normal person. I'm not saying sit on your ass and play MMOs all day. You go out, you work, you make the money, you save it up, and now you have a down payment for the house instead of just being perma-stuck in the tutorial of life. Perma-stuck in the tutorial of life because you've been paying like some other person to like live like in their property. It doesn't make any sense to me. So like again, if you're still kind of low level right now, trust me, this is crazy good advice. If you do this, you're gonna be ahead so hard, and come thank me later, 10 years from now. Come back to the stream and say like, wow, Leaflit, like that was really good advice. And I own my own house now and a business. I'm fucking killing it. Tell me in 10 years, guys.
Dependent upon them. It's like, if I look at the trends, it seems to me like if you eliminated from 18 to 25 or from 25 to 35, if the founders didn't think you should be president of the United States until you were 35,
it is the privilege of living with a good family and if you don't, like, it is what it is, you know. Like, I definitely sympathize with you, and it kind of does suck if like you don't have that. Yeah, I don't know. Life is gonna be way harder for you if you don't have that buff, basically.
I think they wanted you to vote either. And you know what? That's why it was never law. Voting
Andrew,
rights are affirmed.
This is some old shit.
That's not an argument. That's not an argument.
Well, I mean, the reason why
give me the argument
is because you're young, you're old. Like, you are not applicable to this law.
What did that have to do with anything?
You're trying to govern a group of people that you are not a member of.
So?
That's the issue.
So what?
Everyone should be representative government.
So how old do you think the average person who's in Congress is?
Hella old, and we
they're
hate
representing all of you. What do you mean?
And I hate that.
So you think that like 19-year-olds are going to be better governing than 60-year-olds?
No, but I don't think an 80-year-old would be a representative government.
Yeah, but 80-year-olds are dying
old.
in their depends. They're not governing. What do you mean?
Yes, they are.
No, they're
Sleepy
not.
Joe.
Sleepy Joe, who is in his 80s, now has cancer, and he's not president because he went off the deep end.
I know. And Trump is in his 70s, and Mitch McConnell is in his 80s.
Listen,
all of these people are hella old.
Your presidents and congressmen are running like between the late 40s to 50s to 60s. You don't really think that replacing them with 20-year-olds is a good idea, do you?
I don't think we should replace them with 20-year-olds, but
why
I'd
not?
settle for
Why
a
not? Wait,
smooth
why
40.
not? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Well, they'd have to be elected first. No?
Yeah, I know, but even if they were, don't you think that would still probably not be the worst, that wouldn't be a good idea?
If they were elected
through
a democratic representative democracy.
Don't you think they would do a worse job, though, than 40, 50, 60-year-olds would?
Well, we don't know who it is. You can't just say universally, I think a 20-year-old would be worse if they are elected democratically.
Why do you think our founders thought that 35 years old was the minimum?
Just like me.
I think the founders thought 35 should be the minimum because you need experience in government to be the head of the government.
No experience in government is even required to become the president of the United States.
I still can't get over I'm not from New York.
So why this age of 35?
Well, because you have to have lived in this country for long enough.
Guys, listen. There's a part 2. There's a rematch of this debate. And I heard it's even worse than this one. I heard it's even crazier. Well, worse as in, like, it's even worse for her. I heard that, like, she gets absolutely fucking destroyed in the second one. I cannot wait to see it, guys. I cannot wait to watch this one and get to the next one. Holy crap.
To understand it on a basic level.
Because they also thought you just didn't have the requisite experience probably in life to govern at all.
That's fair. To govern the entire country, I would say that
to govern anybody?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Well,
I mean, why is it that they didn't let people vote? Why do you think they didn't want people to vote?
I mean, dude, they were kind of fucked up. I mean, do you really want to base all of your beliefs on the founding fathers? They owned slaves. Like,
so?
Yes.
So?
The whole world owned slaves.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of people do something doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, we were some of the first to take people out of slavery,
I know,
especially
yeah.
the West.
Pretty sure that was England. France did it second.
The West, then? That's the West. England.
That's not America.
That's the West, which is what I said. The
But do you know
West.
the difference? You said we were the first as in America.
The
no?
West is what I said.
I
The
mean, I don't
West.
think we're the same country as England. Sure, we're like
Yeah,
all
but
in
we're
the
part
same
of the
hemisphere.
West, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
England.
We are
basically the West being like the origin culture, basically, because the people from America came from England, obviously.
not run by the same government as England.
Yeah,
We fought a whole war
we're
about
part
it.
of the West.
So it would be a
and
part
I
of
said
the
the
same
West
culture.
is the ones who.
You can't
took
take
us-
credit for something another country did, dog.
Well, first of all, many of the people who came here from England, right?
Oh my god. Guys, she is their best fighter. She is like the, oh my god, super intelligent, totally own the chuds. Like,
idea of the repudiation of
is incredible.
slavery came from those very same dogmas.
What time
so,
is it, Brian?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're at 4:30.
We're at 4. Okay, dude, you've just spent the last hour trying to defend the belief that both sexes should be somehow disenfranchised from voting. This whole one per household, the one marriage system, and I think fundamentally you have not been able to create an appeal to
Why
how
are we
this
in
would
like
work
closing
practically.
statements here?
Well, because we're supposed to be debating feminism. We never even got to it.
Well, this would be a key component to this, actually.
yeah.
But I'm actually fine with this if you want to move it on to that. Like, but
I
here's
mean,
the thing:
if you
you
wanna
never
keep
made
doing
a
it, we
single
can.
argument.
Yep.
The argument is that people should be legislatively represented and allowed to vote.
Yeah,
in
that's
a
an
representative
assertion.
Democracy.
That's just an assertion, not an argument. That's just like, I think so.
The argument is if people are impacted by the laws that
Okay.
legislators create, then they should have a say in who those legislators are.
Yeah, but
then why can't kids vote?
Whether it's a small say,
But that's a
okay.
performative contradiction because you said that people who are affected by laws who A, don't live here, or B, are younger than a certain threshold should be
It's not a
disenfranchised.
performative contradiction. It's the point of democracy.
No, it's
is
listen.
that we should be represented
if you-
by a representative
I need you
government.
to understand this logically. That you're performing a
It doesn't make sense
contradiction.
logically because it's a logical fallacy. You were arguing a logical fallacy.
Yeah, no, what's the fallacy?
The fallacy is that you're trying
The
to
fallacy is the phallus, and you have a phallus.
essentially stop stupid people from voting by
That's
making
not
sure
a
that less
phallus.
people
That's
can
not a
vote.
logical fallacy.
Well, you didn't let me finish the sentence.
Okay.
You're trying to stop stupid people from voting by making it so that less people can vote, which is in turn taking away the power of the voter.
What's the fallacy?
Well, you're trying to empower voters
Your
by taking
argument
away
is
voting
very
Yeah, how is
phallic.
that a
It's
logical
so
fallacy?
phallic.
You can't empower
The
voters by taking
fallacy,
away their power.
phallic argument.
How am I trying to empower voters? What
I
are you
thought the whole
talking
point
about?
is that you're trying to combat tribalism and that you want smart people's votes to
What
not
does that have
be
to do with
nullified by
empowering
stupid
voters?
I thought that's why you're against NGOs, lobbyists, bribes. You want to
Yeah,
empower the people.
I don't know what you're talking
So you
like.
just don't want the country
I don't even
to
know
be
what you're talking
representative?
about. What I'm saying
Ooh,
to
he's
you is
getting
that if you want to
grumpy.
eliminate tribalism, you don't want to have nothing but an unlimited amount of people voting where NGOs can mark to the stupid people and bend them to their will and now have that entire bracket for whatever it is their political agendas are.
So again, why not just get rid of NGOs? Why is, oh my God, NGOs are a problem.
Would you
Let's
like
make
to-
sure less people can vote.
Gee, I never thought of that. Why don't we get rid of NGOs, the people who are utilizing tribalism so that they exist? Boy, I wish I had thought of that.
You're utilizing tribalism?
No, they're utilizing tribalism so they exist.
Okay, but you're a political pundit. You have the power to help people.
Uh-huh.
Why not promote a stance that is actually useful to them instead of trying to
Guys,
take away?
look at Andrew's face. Look at Andrew's face. It's like he's listening to like a kid like complain about something that doesn't make any sense. It's like he's
Great. A stance that would be actually useful to them would be having their well-informed votes not nullified by non-well-informed voters of what you believe and I believe are more than the well-informed voters. That's exactly something I can do to help everybody.
But you're not helping everyone because stupid people still live here.
So what?
They still have a right to exist in a society.
Who's
where they are
taking
not
away the
able
right to exist in a society? Nobody.
Yes, you are, because they're,
How?
if they are still held accountable to the
Let's
same
do,
laws, but now have no right or vote or say in who is enacting those laws and who is representing them in government.
Like 17-year-olds?
Final statement from
They're
both of you on
children.
this, if you
They don't
Okay,
pay
yeah. Final
taxes.
statement is like her position's a contradiction. She says everybody should be able to vote inside of a country where they are governed by the laws. The problem is that then she says all sorts of people who fall into the criteria of being supported by laws shouldn't be able to vote. It's literally a performative contradiction. Then she moves to my view and agrees with my view that mostly that stupid people outnumber smart voters, and when you're talking about ill-informed voters, that NGOs often take advantage of them, or I mean, always take advantage of them. She literally agrees with all of this, but somehow still thinks it's a better idea to allow this to continue because my free, I don't know. She never really gave an argument for that.
Yeah,
I don't really
even know
actually
what
know
she
why.
believes.
My turn?
Yeah, you can respond.
Okay. I mean, I get that you don't understand why, and I get that you don't understand my argument, and I'm
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
either.
I hope one day
I
you
don't
do.
understand.
But What I will say is generally, yes, it's annoying that stupid people are allowed to vote, even though they sometimes make poor choices and fight against their own self-interest. Yes, we don't like that. Yes, we don't agree. We do agree that lobbyists and NGOs have way too much power in setting precedents for laws. Those are both things that we mutually agree upon. However, I do not think that it is fair to create a limited democracy that in turn disenfranchises voters on the basis of being stupid.
Why?
I don't think that there is any way to practically enact that. I don't understand why we would do that.
Enact it with a constitutional convention. That's how you would do it.
And you don't think that the millions of people who now have lost the right to vote they'd be like, okay.
Well, they wouldn't have a choice.
I mean, sure. Protests, riots, there's all sorts of ways that people have fought against a government. I mean, you're basically trying to call the country's bluff on whether or not they care about having the right to vote, which I think is just stupid. I think personally it's pointless, and I think that the function of a democracy is to make sure that everyone who has to abide.
The other thing is too is that the practicality has nothing to do with the philosophy, right? Like just because it would be difficult to enact it doesn't mean that what he's saying would be philosophically better than what she's saying, basically. Well, even policy-wise, like it could be better, but like hard to enact. It's
by these laws is represented in government. Is that flawed? Yes.
That's not even true.
Are you going to let me finish? Did I interrupt you?
Let's let her finish, then we're moving
on. We're moving on.
We're going to move on. So finish your thing, then we're going to move on.
Okay. So anyway, back to my statement. Yes, this government is flawed. Yes, NGOs have too much power. Yes, it's annoying when stupid people do stupid things. But at the same time, the right to vote is a human right under a representative democracy in the United States of America. To take that away from voters is not the answer to creating a more educated voting body. Like, just genuinely, it's just not.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We have a couple chats that are going to come through. Guys, if you want to interact with the stream, the show, the debaters, $200 TTS. And also, if you're enjoying the stream, kindly like the video. If you want to support
you guys, if you just want to check out the original video and you want to watch it, you want to watch it in its entirety, or you want to send it to your friends, the link for the video should be in the comment of this video. And again, guys, like, super thanks to Brian for like actually allowing us to show the video and comment on it. If you want more of this kind of content, I highly recommend checking out the Whatever podcast, as well as the Crucible, which is Andrew's channel. Both are excellent channels. I watch them all the time on my own free time.
Cash App, Whatever Pod, without these platforms taking their cut. We're also live on twitch.tv/whatever if you want to drop us a follow on the Prime.
We're gonna watch these super chats from them, because they're probably gonna comment on as well, because they usually do. And then I'll go through the super chats on the channel, and then we'll probably wrap it up for the day there, because I'm a little busy today. I have some stuff to do. But if you guys do want me to stream more on YouTube, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of it. How you feel about me doing a little bit more streaming on YouTube. Let me know how you feel about it. Again, the problem with YouTube is it's a lot harder to like watch content. But if it's worth it, like if you guys actually want to see more of that, that's something that you guys really want, I can look into like trying to get more permission for like other things that we can watch.
Also, we have some merch, shop.whatever.com, discord.gg/whatever. We have a message here from one moment here.
He paid $99 to send a message?
Again, thank you.
Yeah, we have this one coming in from Peacecraft. Oh, the audio's muted. Or actually, it's not muted. I'm not sure why that's not coming through.
Guys.
I'll just read it. I have a question for Rick James. If you hadn't eaten breakfast this morning, how would you feel? I think that's for you.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you hadn't?
How would you feel if you hadn't eaten breakfast this morning?
I don't. Just how would I feel?
Yeah.
Hungry, probably.
Okay.
Damn.
All right. And we have a message here from Jason Cassell. Related to the military stuff. Thank you, Jason.
Jason Castle donated $200.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Her boyfriend is an ASVAB waiver. You can't get someone else to take the test. You have to be verified with ID, fingerprints, birth certificate, SS, etc. Also, you take it during MEPS.
Is he
All
very
right.
husband?
Thank you, Jason, for that.
That's how I remember it. I remember taking it during MEPS.
In your singular year in the Army? How did you
It
get
doesn't
off
matter.
with 1 year?
Well, people get hurt.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That's what happens.
You didn't go back?
We have Red Fox here in the military, 19 years and run MEPS. All applicants take
Man.
an IQ test. It is called the ASVAB, and we take significant steps to catch fraud. The armed services on average.
Well, I agree that there can be stupid people who are there. I'm just saying that there are standards which are in place. That's one. And two, I remember specifically taking it when I was in MEPS. So
how hard would this IQ test be for voters on your whole life?
well, I didn't really advocate for an IQ test. It would just be you would just be looking for, like, if somebody was going to enter into service, that they had at least the IQ capacity to do it, so they weren't like mentally retarded.
Well, I mean, isn't the whole point that we're trying to prevent stupid people from voting? That's your whole...
No, uninformed voters from
Yeah,
voting.
I care more about that.
Okay, so how does community service inform a voter?
Well, so again, you keep doing
Well,
is
even with that, community service would inform a voter, because then you'd be a part of like seeing what makes your community function, and like being a part of solutions, so like within your community, so you would be able to see the problems.
inflating like
But
four
anyway,
different
that's not
things
even
when they say
important.
here's all of our possible options.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're like, well, there's problems with this one. I agree. There's problems within the confines of each of these, but there's some that you just straight up reject and give no arguments for. Like, why is it that we can't just eliminate it?
What the hell? Words and things. Thank you for the $500 super chat. Holy crap, dude. Oh my god. Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
From 18 to 35, if
It's
you
very
can't
generous
be
of you. Thank
president
you
of the
so
United
much.
States until you're 35, seems feasible that you can't vote until you're 35.
Well, if the laws still apply to you between 18 to 35.
Yeah, so then your objection's
you.
not even to the system. Your objection is actually just still what your argument is, which is a contradiction.
But what's to prevent? Hold on. Question. Pause. But what's to prevent? Can a person over 35 be an uninformed voter? Yes or no?
Yes, but it's going to be way less regular than people who are younger
How
than
are you
that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just because if we look at the people who turn out to vote, right, within these demographics, right, it's much less than in the older demographics. And when they're polled, the people in older demographics know much more about the issues than the people in the younger demographics.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. My grandma gets all her news from Facebook.
We have a
Not
message
sure
here, Manny Fresh. Question for Naima. Did I say it right? Oh my God, Naima. Okay, just question. Has she ever actually studied Plato's Ship of State? What's an actually intellectual philosophical counterpoint against this biggest issue with socialism and communism? Also, why are you dating your oppressor? What? Typical, okay.
I'm good.
Feminist?
Let's.
No response
no
there?
thanks.
Okay.
I'm
All right, guys, if you want to get a message in, we're going to do
That's pretty
$200
funny.
TTS. We let a
The
couple.
thing is, I don't actually think she actually believes that part of it. I don't think she actually. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think she's actually into the racial woke side of things. I don't know if she is. I don't think she is.
Below the threshold, just come through there.
I think she's
Why
more
don't
like
we bring it back
economic- I
to
don't know.
feminism, Andrew? Force doctrine.
Yeah,
I
I'd
believe
like
is
to
where
do
you.
I don't know. For some reason, like, I recall hearing that she was actually like not into that, but I don't know. I might be wrong.
Force doctrine.
off
Thank you.
So
Oh,
there we
yeah.
go.
yeah, we're fine with that. But if you
All right, so from here on, they're gonna go into like definitions of feminism. They're gonna go into the actual feminism debate is the next section, and we'll check that out another day. Let me go through the super chats. I'll make sure I thank everybody. Let me back up a little bit, and thank you so much for watching and joining me here, guys. I really appreciate it. Again, like, leave a comment if you want me to do more on YouTube. We'll try our best to do more. I don't know how people do it. Like, maybe I could ask some other people who stream a lot more on YouTube. I can ask them how they do it, because I actually don't know how. Maybe I should ask Kirsha. Does she do that? Does she do reacts on YouTube? I don't know who does them on YouTube. Yeah. I'm actually gonna be playing with her soon, so maybe I'll ask after. All right. Let's get over here. Ubagi, thank you so much for the the sub. Thank you so much. The membership. The terminology is different because on other sites like on Kick and Twitch it's sub, and on YouTube a sub is a follow. So like on Kick and Twitch it would be called the follow. On YouTube it's called a sub. A sub on Kick and Twitch is a subscription, whereas on YouTube it's called a membership. It's like the terminology is all different. Thank you so much for the super. 2001 Cisco Chili. Hi Leaflit. Started watching your videos. Well, after you were so. Oh, I already saw that one. Okay. Let me see. Get through all of them. This thing doesn't have like a Actually, wait. There's a heart. There's like a heart button. There's no What do you call it? It doesn't have like a you read it already thing here. Thank you so much. Again. Let's see. From Jim Walsh, thank you so much for this super. Been watching for about a year. I'm fundamentally against Twitch in their practice. I'm glad you're streaming here. Okay, I read that one. Shadow Effect says, thank you so much for the $2 super. No joke. Count Andrew putting his head on his mic. Sicko, thank you so much for the $5 super. I hate Twitch. Kick hates mobile users. YouTube is my home, and you could cut YouTube during a stream. If you think you'll get got. Null does it. Yeah, you know what? I'll ask Julio if he can look into it, like how we could possibly do that more. Because I wouldn't mind actually multiing onto YouTube as well. Again, the reasons I said is because YouTube likes to randomly nuke us for like, and when YouTube nukes us, by the way, they nuke us like really hard, right? Because if you get 3 strikes on YouTube, they kill your channel. So it's kind of really scary, to me at least, because, you know, YouTube is like one. I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket, and YouTube is one of those baskets. So if like that basket got nuked for no reason, it would be kind of awful, right? So, Darian Muncha, thank you so much for 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much for, thank you for that. If you got one of those gift memberships, make sure you say thank you to the person that gave it to you. 2001 Cisco Chili, thank you for another 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Young Gearhead, thank you so much for the membership. Castle Baron, thank you so much for the $5 super. I love the way you pronounce warfare. Wait, did I say it like different? Warfare. Won't be gaming. Thank you so much for 5. Thank you for the super chat. $5 super chat. Your avatar looks so cute eating. I can tell you're munching on food while it's moving. Yeah, I was eating some Japanese fried rice I got from like a restaurant. I also got like a couple pieces of sushi as well, but I was just gonna wait till. And the reason I have to go, by the way, guys, is I have to run tabletop. If you guys play like a little plug here, if you guys like tabletop RPGs, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, and you're sick of like the woke game design and all of the bullshit of like Dungeons and Dragons. Please check out our game. I'm a game developer, and I work on a game called Angel Sword RPG. And you can check it out at rpg.angelsword.com. It's free to play. The manual is online. You can play it for free with everyone. And if you're interested in getting a little bit more deeper into it, we do have a Patreon for that. And that gets you access to the MMO, which is a canon campaign. That's like a West Marches. So it's like, it's got a lot of players playing it. I think we've got like over 100 characters in the game right now, playing all at the same time in the same world, where each party going on their quests like affects other quests, and it's this big like ecosystem. If you're interested in that, playing RPGs, hanging out with people that like RPGs, check out our Discord, check out our Patreon for that. And again, you don't have to contribute anything to play the game. The game is free. Like the base game is free. If you want to just play like regular tabletop with your friends, you have a DM, you have your own DM, like your friend wants a DM or you want a DM. The game is completely free, and it has probably the highlight of it, I'd say, is it's got really good player choice. It's got like a ton of classes, ton of races, and it's got really good combat. I think our combat is like one of the best in my opinion. And I've been playing tabletop for many years, many years. I think I have what was it? Like, crap. How many hours do I have? Check. I have 13 13.5 thousand hours on Roll20. 13.5 thousand hours. Hideki, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super. I'm so glad you decided to stream on YouTube for this. This is awesome. God bless you, Nasari. Live your content. Thank you so much. Thank you. Deviation, thank you so much for 5 gift memberships. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I noticed a lot of the names. I see you guys in the comments. Culture Near, thank you so much for the membership as well. And thank you, Gundam Goji. Thank you so much for the 5 super. Gonna pop open the cold one for this one. Cheers, everybody. Man, I'm gonna have to do that for part 2. Man. Hajime James, thank you so much for the 5 supers. That's like I go to Japan and abide by their laws because the stakes I would be able to vote in their country. Correct me if I'm hearing her wrong. Yeah. Black Joker, thank you so much for the 5 super chat. This woman is the most convincing argument I've ever heard for appealing the 19th. Okay, to be fair, not everyone is like that, but you know, like I would, you know what? I'll meet you halfway, and I'll say I'll agree on it if I'd agree on making it merit based. How about we repeal everyone's ability to vote and we make it a merit based, like meritocratic democracy? I would be 100% on board with that. I think, because I think that there are also a lot of dumb dudes that vote as well. So that's my take on it. But the funny thing is like I'm not like technically against it. Like in terms of if I were purely focused on getting what I want, then I would just say yes, because you would probably get a much better voting result if you removed all women. So practically, like on a purely utilitarian level, I would agree with that. But I think philosophically, I think that the meritocracy would be better. Like a meritocratic voting system would be better, I think. And again, for the reasons I said, is that there are a lot of dumb dudes that vote for against their own interests or uninformed as well. I think you target the problem better by making it a meritocracy, is what I'm saying. I think it's a better solution. Alpha Foxy Otter, thank you so much for the membership. Thank you for the super. Last Ronin, the $10 super. Thank you. Universal suffrage for both men and women is one of the biggest mistakes. I agree. America made too many stupid people are voting. And again, like I don't really think it's necessarily stupid. I think it's unwise people. Unwise, uncaring, uninformed, I think is the issue. Again, there are a lot of people who have low IQs, like you would consider them to be low intelligence, but they have a lot of experience in life, and then they vote based off of that experience. And I think that, yeah, wisdom would be a better metric, personally. But yeah, I agree with you for the most part. Gamer Kev, thank you so much for the 5 super. Problem is, the moment you have a requirement for voting, such as economic or service, there will be a gatekeeping to prevent people from there will be gatekeeping to prevent people from voting, as in like they would enact laws to make it more difficult. Well, I think that if you keep, as long as you set it up so there is a path for every person, right? Like military could be a path. Like I'm not strictly like it has to be like one specific thing. I think it could be a variety of things, like what I described earlier. I would agree with it if it was like, you know, one vote for like a family with kids, specifically with kids. Like whether wow, my YouTube studio just crashed. 1 second. Come on. Oh no. I lost my spot on the list. How could they do this? Yeah, YouTube studio just crashed. Hold on. Yeah, you would have to make it so that there's various entry methods. That way, you know, like the kids thing, public service, military. That way, people have various ways of entering that are actually not really easily changeable. But I do see what you mean though. Like people could make it so, well, you have to join the military in order to get a vote, and then some legislator would be like, well, in order to join the military, you have to do X to actually gatekeep people out of it. Like I can kind of see that. So I think like having like a multifaceted approach. There's like different ways that you can get into the meritocracy. I think would be really important to like define that early. Jackals of Terra Argentum, thank you so much for the membership. Thank you. And thank you for the super as well. Thank you for the $10 super. The only problem I have with selective enfranchisement is that it would give even more power to our useless managerial classes, unless very planned and written. Yeah, and that is the case. I mean, just like it would have to be well thought out and well written. Yeah, because again, like you have to. And this is the problem with humanity. You have to understand human nature in order to like make laws that govern humans. Because human nature humans will try to do whatever they can to get around the rules. And that's just kind of, I think that is a universal law that humanity always tries to break the rules. No Name, thank you so much for the supers. I noticed she will try to connect the wrong points in the wrong place to attack his character. Textbook example of someone not listening. I know. I thought men weren't good at listening, huh? I thought that's what they say all the time, right? That men aren't good at listening. Interesting. Fuck off, thank you so much for the seven Canadian book super. Thank you. Hey Leaf, did you hear about the Epstein file drop having an email chain talking about Putin having a pic of Trump eating Bill Clinton's hot dog? What? What? Would they have like deep fakes or something? What the hell? I've never heard about that. Chippus Universe, thank you so much for the 2 super. She's cute but not bright. Maya, thank you so much for the membership, the membership. 9 Jinx, thank you for the membership. Sorry, guys, you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna kind of mix up sub and member a lot. It's gonna be kind of hard. Thank you for the 5 supers. Error. Wait, this woman is supposed to be one of the smart leftists. Yes, she is considered like. When she was on Jubilee, everyone was super praising her. They're like, "Wow, she's so smart. She's great." Oh my god, I don't know what this currency is. Ramske, thank you so much for the 125. I don't know. It's like a P with like multiple lines. It looks like those glasses, you know, like those hipster glasses with like the lines instead of the lens. It looks like that, but like a P. I don't know what that is. But thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for 125. The Asmin solution, everyone gets a vote. If they don't pass a test or condition, the ballot opens a trapdoor to a shredder so they don't know. The problem with that is like, how are you going to have oversight on that, I guess? I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of rough. Dekwao, thank you so much for the 5 supers. And this is their first debate. She gets even worse on the second. I can't wait to see it. Noi Killer with the Leaflit salute. Thank you for always commenting, Noi Killer. I do see it every single time. Sometimes with Leaflit salute, sometimes with other emotes. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for the 18-month membership as well, Noid. Thank you. Buttermilk Soda, thank you so much for the 10 super. I think the strongest argument against changing enfranchisement is the Selective Service Act, at least for young men, because I would consider it a stake if you can be drafted to defend the homeland. That is kind of a good point. Yes, that's a pretty good point, actually. Fair enough. We'd have to think about that and like how we could either fix that or change the argument, basically. But I think that is a very good point that you brought up. And we'd have to reconcile that with the with whatever rules we come up with. Darkside, thank you so much for the 10 Australia books, the Down Under books. In Australia, it's illegal to not vote. Really? We have the worst example of this amount thrown away of votes being manipulated. Wait, really? You're forced to vote? Like, even if it's a no vote? Even if it's a non-vote? That's crazy. Lost Ronin, thank you so much for the 5 supers. You lost me at Vance as president. Bro is not America first. Is he not? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I don't know. From what I've seen of Vance, he's pretty good from what I've seen, and I think he's been more pro America than basically any other one that I've had in my lifetime. So I don't know. Maybe he's not pro America enough, and I think that could be a good argument. Because I want someone who is like really just America first and America only, really. And when I say America only, I mean I'm okay with helping other people if you can prove it's within our interests, basically. I don't like charity for other countries. I want charity for our own people, basically. I believe charity is best served on a local level at home. Roner Russian, thank you so much for the 5 supers. My brother's in-law's girlfriend did this exact thing Andrew was talking about to him with their second kid. His in-law's girlfriend did the exact thing Andrew was talking about to him with their second kid. Okay. Voiton, thank you so much for the 10 supers. There is a danger in creating a criteria of intelligence barrier to vote, since the party in power can make the criteria. Less government is better. Service guaranteeing citizenship is better, in my opinion, says Voiton. Well, I definitely think that's better than what we have now. I would agree with that. No name, thank you so much for the 5 supers. My work in theory is that autism is nature's evolutionary buff to fix tetraethyl lead stupidity down the generational line. Dude, I don't know, it might be. That's kind of funny. Is it a product of it? Maybe. No name, thank you so much for the 2 supers, especially high functioning autism. I have one friend who's autistic, like one friend who's confirmed autistic, like medically, like not like I think I'm autistic, like actually like the tested and doctors said that they're autistic, and he's very smart. One of my smarter friends. I'm used to being the dumbass in my group. All my friends are incredibly smart. Cream Monarch, thank you so much for the 2 supers. Chat, I'm noticing. Sergeant Razor, thank you so much for the 2 supers. Hey Leaflit, I wanted to say you're an amazing VTuber. Thank you so much. Thank you, Razor. I really appreciate it. Razor Nader, thank you so much for the 10 Aussie bucks. Good Arvo. Rob Davis, thank you so much for 5 supers. Heinleinian republics are cool. Sicko, thank you so much for the 2 supers. Leaf is wrong. Wait for the market crash. Oh, wait for the market crash and buy the dip to make money. Well, I mean, what I said is not really wrong. You could do both, right? I mean, you could do both. You could buy it with that money. Oh, you mean when I said to make it safe? Well, the reason I said to make it safe is because that's easier for most people. Obviously, you can make more money off of active trading, like if you are really, really good, but you also risk losing everything. So I went for the safe option. Again, thank you so much for the membership. What an interesting sight to wake up to. Cartoon Shrek, thank you so much for 2 supers. I still can't wait to get over, but I'm not... I still can't get over, but I'm not from New York, dude. That was crazy. That was crazy. Again, thank you so much for the $1.50 super. Banana. Sicko, thank you for the 5 super. I'm taking a backflip off of my 2-story pool I don't have. Thanks, Leaflit. Yeah, the best they have to offer, man. Twitter sucks. Thank you so much for the 5 super. Stupid people should be allowed to cancel your vote because it's all right to be stupid. Again, thank you for the 10 super. I went to bed early. Wake up, notice seeing Leaflit stream. Not even 15 minutes here and I lost brain cells. I'll definitely look into these videos later. Thank you so much, Gen. Thank you again. And excited to have that session. Gen is actually playing in the tabletop session that I'm running in about an hour and 20 minutes. I need to make the map. Oh dear. I'm running out of time. Critical Orc Theory. Thank you so much for Critical Orc. It's a good name. Thank you so much for the super. An elf on YouTube. Hassan, send in your warg shockers. Error 404, thank you so much for the 5 super. Super chat. Yes. stream more on YouTube, watching Twitch on mobile is cancerous AIDS. Yeah, and people are saying that it's bad on Kick as well. Yeah. I wish I could, dude. If it were as simple as streaming on Twitch and Kick, I would definitely do it. I don't mind streaming on YouTube. It's the issue is with like reacting to stuff and, you know, YouTube insta aggroing on me basically. Sicko, thank you so much for the 2 super. Like, they already aggroed on me twice for no reason, like literally no reason. And I had to go on Twitter. I had to go on X and be like, guys, like they struck me and they took my video down for literally no reason. What the fuck? And there had to be like outrage on X for them to even like respond to me and be like, we're gonna look into it. And then they go, we found out that you were not violating any rules. Here's your video back in a shitty state, by the way, because the video now is like nuked, right? Like I lost all the views and all of the revenue of the video. They give it to me back in like a beat up grape state. And they throw it back at me, regurgitated, and they're like, yeah, and we took off the strike off your channel. They did this twice, by the way, 2 times already. This is the second time it's happened. It's been false flagged. Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate me, chat. Let's just say there's a lot of people that hate me. Sicko, thank you so much for the super. Where's the Sergeant Reckless horse plushie? Dude, I would totally who would I even contact though? Like, who would I contact in the Marines to actually like see if I could actually get that done and then donate them, or do I just do it and then donate the money? Like, do I just make the plushie like fuck it, like it's a Sergeant Reckless horse plushie and then I just donate the money to the Marines after? Like, is that a better way to do it? I don't know. Like, do we just say fuck it? We make the plushie, we sell the plushie, then we donate all of the proceeds to the Marines. You might want to get permission first. Yeah, but see, I don't even know how I would do that. Is the problem. Let's see. Tony Cadenas, thank you so much for the $2 super. Hi, Leaf. You're awesome. You're the best VTuber. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Talvos, thank you so much for the 10 supers. Thank you. Vote for change. Vote for Kathleen. True. Vote for Kathleen. Critical Orc Theory, thank you so much for the $5 super. Forging a ring is a no basis for a system of government. Vanslet, thank you for the what the fuck is Vanslet? Oh my god, that profile. Guys, it's like JD Vance, you know, like the baby JD Vance with like leaflet hair. Like, what the fuck? Thank you for the $5 super. Slime Girl Love. And Sicko, thank you so much for the super. Levi was talking about the housing market. My name is Psycho, because everything should be logical. Thank you, Psycho, thank you. Tacos Burritos, thank you so much for the $10 super. Nice catching you on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on YouTube, and thanks for watching the videos all the time, guys. Like, I couldn't do all of this stuff without you guys. It really means a lot to me. Like, every like, every comment, every view, every sub, like every membership, all the supers. I really appreciate it, truly. It's been kind of a crazy ride, man. It's been a wild ride, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one, you guys. Good night.
し懐かしい